Hey, welcome to the Straight Sports Podcast. We're your host Joshua, and
Tushar.
in this podcast, we give our opinions on our favorite sports, which are basketball, soccer, and wrestling.
So today, Josh, we got a special guest.
Special
Super
guest, man.
excited to introduce him. He's the guy who beats me in 2K all the time. I have no wins against him. He beats me in Madden. I call him the king of all sports. He knows all sports, UFC, NFL. You ask him about anything, he knows it all. He's the GOAT. My boy Danny, yo, welcome to the podcast. We are so happy to have you, bro.
Welcome.
It's been a long time coming. We've been wanting you for 6 months. It's kind of my fault that we haven't been able to get you on, so my bad. But we happy to have you, bro.
Yo, how you guys doing, bro? Thank you for having me, man. And
hey, it's been a long time, man. We've been talking about this for probably years, man. Probably high school days, man. But hey, man, we're here and let's get into it, man. I'm ready.
So we're gonna start off with the first topic. What a crazy day it's been in the NBA, guys. We got the NBA trade deadline, has come to a close, and many teams have let go and have acquired new players. So today we will go over some of the biggest deals and discuss who we think won each trade and what grade we will give them from A through F. So let's start off with the first trade that happened when Shams reported that the Brooklyn Nets traded Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a first round and multi-second round picks. So let's Josh, let's start it off. What you think about this?
I'm gonna just say for Dallas, I think it was a good move. Honestly, they're a pretty desperate team. Free agents really don't want to go there. The roster wasn't really working, and I feel like the front office had to, show Luka that they're serious, and this is what they did. So they put a bet on themselves, and they traded for Kyrie. So I feel like they really lose nothing here, and I feel like they can only gain. So I'll give them an A for the trade. For the Nets side, I wasn't really too fond on the deal. I thought Kyrie wasn't gonna get moved, and I feel like even though they get some pieces back, I just felt like, was this really the best package that they got? Who knows? But I'm gonna give them, I'll say a B minus. Just because
Wow,
just
Josh.
because
wow.
That's a little
Kyrie,
too generous, in my opinion, bro.
I think he's right. I think that's a bit generous.
Kyrie wasn't an expiring deal. The question that could be asked, like, if he didn't get the move, would he sit out the rest of the season? So I feel like they had to do something, even though I didn't think he would get moved. But I feel like, this is what they got. I heard that Joe Tsai did not want to move him to LA, and the Clippers offer wasn't that great from what I've seen. So
It definitely
I
was
feel like
not.
they did what they could have done. They got some decent pieces back, and yeah, I feel like B minus is where it's at right now. So what are y'all thinking?
Let's go, Danny. I want to hear your thoughts.
Man, for the Mavericks, obviously I'm gonna give them an A plus for this trade, man. Like they get Kyrie paired up with Luka, man. Yo, probably one of the best dynamic duos in the league, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but
it was until that big Woj bomb came at 1 a.m.
You're right, but we're probably gonna get into that later. But come on, but when the trade first happened, did you not think, wow, Dallas is going to the finals?
Yeah. Well, I might be a little biased here coming from a Kawhi guy, rooting for the Clippers, but definitely knowing that they're a big threat. The Clippers gone 7 games with just Luka, pairing them with Kyrie is very scary, makes the West very serious. And yeah, they became legit for sure.
Exactly. You got to think about it like this, bro. Luka in the fourth quarter.
Come on, man. Everybody's always double teaming him. Now he finally has someone that can freaking
leave the burden from him.
He got somebody else to put the load on. So I think this is a great move for them. Defensively, it puts them in a bad situation, man. They don't have any defenders, but maybe their plan is to beat all the teams 151 to 150. But man, this team can honestly, I see their ceiling making it to the Western Conference Finals, in my opinion. I don't think they make the finals, but I think they make the Western Conference Finals.
Now for the Nets side, man, I give this an F.
Interesting.
Yeah, I give this an F, man. From what I heard, they could have waited until the end of the season and possibly negotiate a sign. What is it called?
Sign and trade.
Sign and trade. There you go. Something. Yeah. So, and
all they got back was Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. So, in my opinion, they got way worse. And
I don't know, man. I just give them an F. But as a Knicks fan, I give it an A plus because
Knicks run New York.
Yeah, I thought last time I checked, the Nets run New York, but the last time I checked, they had 3 superstars and then they're all
I
out.
got no
So
comment on that,
Kevin
man.
Durant was out here talking about the Nets superior to the Knicks, and now it looks like the real king of New York, which is Jalen Brunson, is still here. So,
I think you mean Randall. Like
oh yeah, I
I'm
forgot. We
Hunt's
gotta give Randall
aunt,
his
bro.
flowers. You gotta give him his flowers for sure.
Let
But
me add one more thing also before I let you talk. We all talk about how can Kyrie coexist with Luca, but you think about it, Kyrie played with LeBron. In a way, I kind of see Luca as LeBron because he's a ball dominant wing.
100%. Mm-hmm.
And who can create for others. Luca averages what, like 8 assists sometimes. Like he can throw even a triple double in his sleep. So I don't know, man. I think Dallas has a bright future with this, but you just never know with Kyrie. To be honest with you, you just never know with this guy.
100%. So for me personally, that was a great take, Danny. For me personally, I go into Dallas. I gave them an A- only because when you pair Kyrie and Luka, talent-wise, this is the best backcourt in the NBA. If you just look at it on paper, we saw their effects already. They just beat my Clippers without Luka yesterday. Kyrie Irving, his effect was very clear to see. But the reason I gave them A-, like Danny says, like you don't know what Kyrie will be. Like, will all this off the court drama be just off the court? Will it just be focused on the court? When he's just focused on basketball on the court, no issues. And nobody's saying Kyrie's done a lot of great things off the court. People don't talk about that a lot. But just looking on the court when he's playing basketball and he's focused on that, we know how special of a talent he is. He's a superstar talent for a reason. Dallas made the trade. They're clearly desperate. Luka needs help. He can't be scoring 50 every game. And bringing in Kyrie, who's the best fourth quarter scorer in the league, with Luka, who always tends to get gassed out in the fourth quarter because he has to do all the work. Perfect trade for Dallas. Is good risk. At worst, it's a 6-month rental. I don't see how it's a bad trade. For Brooklyn, I gave them a solid C. Like I said, Josh, I was surprised to hear you give them a B-. I was surprised to hear Danny give them an F. It's not like they traded for scrubs. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith, is a great rotational piece. He's a 3-and-D guy, great defender. Dallas has obviously took a step down defensively. And Spencer Dinwiddie, just a great player. He can score 17. I mean, just today, the Nets won. He dropped 25. So, but obviously, this was, my assumption when Katie was there, So I'm thinking, okay, works. But obviously, still Katie with a bunch of great players. But now that Katie's gone, this is an interesting trade. But still, Dorian Finney-Smith, great player. Dinwiddie. And obviously, they're here to stay. But I give them a solid C. I think it's not a terrible trade. And it's clear that, with Kyrie Irving not wanting to re-sign and demanding a trade or requesting a trade, that the Nets, for them to get any assets really in return is great because a lot of people are hesitant to trade Kyrie, or not for the talent, but because of all the issues that come with Kyrie Irving sometimes. But yeah, I think they had no choice. I think it's the best package they could have got. Lakers, it was just Russell Westbrook and 2 picks. I mean,
Your Clippers
the
gave them
Clippers
a
gave
terrible package.
a terrible deal with. I mean, Terrence Mann's a great player on Luke Kennard, but that's not enough to get a guy like Kyrie Irving. And it was just picks. That was not a good trade by the Clippers. The Suns is interesting, Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, but now that KD left, that trade doesn't make sense. So I think this was the best deal for them personally. I don't think there was any other really best options for them. So yeah, for me personally, I think that I give Brooklyn a C. But Dallas, obviously, what an opportunity. We got Luka and Kyrie together in the West, and we already seen Kyrie's impact on the team. So
Clearly, they
yeah,
beat the Clippers without Luca, by the way.
Yeah,
I
And
know
Luca owns the Clippers, so imagine when they're together. Oh man,
for real.
that is true. That is true.
Mavs
But the
in 7, Mavs in 4 actually.
All right, all right. Let's move on to another big trade. We had the Los Angeles Lakers, huge trade. We had the Lakers receive D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. It's a 3-team trade. Minnesota got Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and 3 second-round picks. One was a swap. Utah got Russell Westbrook, which we know most likely is going to be bought out. We can never see Russell Westbrook in a Utah Jazz uniform with all the
He's
commotion
definitely
that's
going to be in that Clippers uniform, though. Let's go.
all
For real.
right, we're gonna talk about that a little later. Let's continue on. We got Juan Toscano Anderson also going there. Damian Jones and the Lakers, who never wanted to give up those picks, finally gave up a 2027 first-round pick, which is a pretty much, I heard, a very high pick. So what's your thoughts on
Protected, by the
this?
way,
And
but
what happened?
I said the pick is actually protected.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on so what's your thoughts on like who, the grades for each of these teams?
I mean, Lakers get an A+. I mean,
Mhm.
they offload Westbrook, which they've been trying to get rid of for a while. I mean, La GM clearly failed with that one. But, I
Legit.
mean, they reacquired D'Angelo Russell, who I think is a good, solid player. They get Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt, who I think are 2 good role players, and they can only, make the team better.
Mhm.
And they gave up a protected pick for 2027. I mean, I think it's not that bad of a deal for them,
They didn't have to give
honestly.
up their other one, so
Yeah, true. Utah, I mean, They got Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, and Westbrook, who I think will get waived. They did get the pick they wanted, but it is protected. So I mean, I feel like I gotta give them like a B minus, maybe C plus,
Okay.
because they also did give up picks to Minnesota. So if the goal was to stack picks, you're getting a first round protected pick and giving away other picks. I feel like it's kind of like counterintuitive, but Minnesota, they get Mike Conley, who's a solid guard. I mean, D'Lo wasn't working for them, so I feel like they decided to shake things up, and there's no guarantee that he would have resigned anyway.
Yeah, there
So
was reports that there was a contract
yeah,
negotiation, but it clearly didn't work out.
they get a bunch of picks and Nikhil Alexander Walker, who I think is a promising player. So I feel like they get a B. I mean, I feel like Lakers obviously win this. I mean, they
Sure
literally
could,
lose nothing at all. So
except
yeah,
the pick if that's what the was valuable.
that's true.
All right, Danny, let's hear your thoughts.
Man, the Lakers got to get an A plus for this, man. I mean, I feel like they hit a home run, bro. Like it really seems
Yeah.
like that because they finally get rid of their whole Westbrook problem. Which
hmm
I feel like Westbrook gets unnecessary hate, in my opinion. He just wasn't
Mhm.
the right fit for the Lakers. But you know what?
100%.
All right, you get rid of him, all right. But you get D'Lo back, who's once again, bro. He
Russell might
they
still be in LA, so he might still be in LA.
No, he definitely will be. But you get D'Lo, bro. He's a really good shooter, and that's exactly what the Lakers need. And they also get Malik
Beasley, who's also a great shooter, and his movement without the ball is so good, bro. I
Oh,
kind
he's a
of
great player. Yes,
exactly. He's a solid player. And then they also
Van-
get Vanderbilt, who's a defensive.
rebounder.
elite rebounder.
I
Yes,
love this trade for the Lakers. Again, let's not get too ahead of ourselves and call them title favorites, but it's a good trade
yeah,
for them. I give
they
it an
got
A
better.
plus.
Rob
They,
Pelinka deserves some credit here. People criticized him, and there was a trade. The Russell Westbrook trade was a disaster. Obviously, we know. I'm not saying obviously Rob Pelinka makes the final say. LeBron James and AD pushed for Russell Westbrook, and Rob Pelinka, fixed I think the issue. But yeah, continue, Danny. My bad.
no, let's go to but Jazz for me get a B. It's a solid trade.
They
Yeah.
get Russell Westbrook, they get the picks, but I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this because they were supposed to be in the Wemby race. Now they're just too good for that, I guess. So I don't even know what they're
Yeah.
doing. I give
That's
them a
true, man.
B. It's a solid pickup. The Wolves, man. I don't know, man. They must be like trying to get like the world's worst trades or something because this was terrible for them, bro. I don't know what they're doing, bro. I don't know. I guess they didn't want to re-sign Russell in the offseason. That's the only way I see it.
So what would you give them as a letter grade?
I'll give it a. It's not an F, but I'll give it a D. I'll give it a
Got
D.
you, guys. Yeah, for me, Lakers A. I mean, they basically had a perfect kind of trade scenario. They added D'Angelo Russell. I think fits better with LeBron, a guy who can shoot, play, make. He'll fit the bill with the Lakers. A guy who averaged 18, a guy who was an All Star for the Nets when he was there in Brooklyn. Great player. Malik Beasley adds shooting. That's what the Lakers lack. We know they had a lot of I mean, there was basically a team that was non-shooting, and to win with LeBron James, you need shooting. So there's obviously no knock on these teams, but shout out Patrick Beverly, man. He posted, I think, D'Lo reunion, and now he got traded to Orlando. Shaking my head,
Man, bro. Shout out Pat
but
Beverly.
yeah. Then Malik Beasley, right, great shooter, so fits with LeBron and Jared Vanderbilt. Great defensive guy, can rebound. So I think it just overall fits better with LeBron and AD, the big two for the Lakers. You get shooting, you get defense, and obviously you get rid of Russ, which it was just a bad fit. Russ is not a bad player. I actually saw this on social media. I mean, it was on ESPN. Dave McCannigan said basically that a source told him that the vampire has been removed from the locker room. And then
Damn.
I did
Nina
see
West,
that actually. I
yeah,
did
and
see
then
that.
Nina Westbrook, Russell Westbrook's wife, responded saying that how now she has to tell her kids because they hear from her from schools. Their peers would say nasty stuff about their father. Now she has to tell her kids how their their father is not a vampire, and it's just crazy and the disrespect. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, it didn't work out, but to go out there and say this, on ESPN Live, I think that's kind of messed up. He doesn't deserve this much disrespect, and doesn't it shouldn't have to affect his family. This is basketball, so it's a little
Yeah,
upsetting to
I
see that. one Hundred
definitely agree with
percent.
that.
I hope Russell Westbrook finds a new home. He's a great player. He was just on a bad fit, and just like Frank Vogel, they called him the new scapegoat. Basically, that's what they did. This season,
Yeah.
last season wasn't great for
Scapegoat,
him.
but okay, Frank Vogel
Last
was the
season,
reason.
no, last season he was. Last season, I give him a lot. I definitely put some blame on him. But this season, the role that Darvin Ham gave, he accepted it and he excelled in that role. He was potentially sixth man of the year,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
it just didn't work out. But the Lakers get an A. For Utah, I mean, I'm gonna give them a B. For me personally, I don't know what Utah's direction is because I thought again they might be in that victor race. But then Laurie Markkinen came and he's been balling, so it's clear they found their star of the future. but they clearly still are like in this kind of like, okay, we're still kind of rebuilding, but still a good team. So I think they clearly just wanted the pick, and they really only lost like 2 players to get that pick, which was Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley. Obviously, Mike Conley went to Minnesota, and obviously they got some other decent players, but I think it was mainly for them it was the pick, and we know Russ is going to be bought out. For Minnesota, I gave them a C. I think if you look at it, clearly they were in
See,
contracts with,
wow.
yeah, C. I mean, because if you look at Minnesota, like they clearly were trying to, like they wanted to extend D'Angelo Russell, but those talks were going nowhere. So it makes sense that maybe he probably wasn't gonna he was gonna leave anyway. So you might as well get whatever you can. They basically only gave up D'Lo, and for a guy who could have potentially been, a 6 month left and who would have been gone, they got some decent players. Mike Conley's not a scrub. He's a decent starting point guard. He kind of does similar things as Russell. Obviously, right now I would say Russell's better, but he still is a great playmaker. Could score the basketball, make Cat and Anthony Edwards' jobs easier. And I forgot Rudy Gobert's still on that team. Shout out to the worst trade in NBA history.
Your
But
favorite
anyways, to
player,
continue,
bro. Your favorite player.
and I'm not a hater of Rudy Gobert before people say that, but that was a bad trade. If you tell me that was a good trade, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna continue on. Minnesota got Mike Conley, right? And then they added Nikhil Alexander, right? Good young, promising guy. And then they got some second round picks. So I just give them an average. I wouldn't say it's a great trade, but obviously if D'Lo was gonna leave for nothing, they got some assets in return. Something is better than nothing.
And
So
I
yeah,
don't know
that's
about you guys, but I can't wait to see that AD and D'Lo pick and roll, man. I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
be that.
I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
that's gonna be scary. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, now let's for sure interesting takes. But let's Danny. I just want to obviously there's so many trades and unfortunately we can't talk about all of them. But I just want to know your brief thoughts about what the Knicks done. Obviously they didn't make any major major moves. There was some conversation about Zach LaVine, but obviously it didn't happen. But what's your thoughts? Of Josh Hart coming to the Garden with obviously reuniting with Jalen Brunson, a former Villanova teammate, and you have obviously Cam Reddish and a pick going to Portland. What are your thoughts on that trade?
Well, for me right now, I gotta say it's an A, man. I give it an A for two reasons. One, we didn't make that Zach LaVine trade. I know people are gonna call me crazy, but I don't know. I don't really didn't want to trade Grimes and Obi for Zach LaVine because
Mhm.
if the Knicks were willing to give up Grimes, why didn't
They
they?
do it for Donovan Mitchell in the off season.
I feel like Donovan Mitchell could have been better than LaVine, but whatever.
Mhm.
Man, Josh Hart is a great pickup for me, man. He's gonna be great for us. He's basically Tibbs'
Ideal player, a great big rebounder,
Yeah, as
and
a guard. Wow. Second
yeah.
best. Second. Yeah,
second
go
as
ahead.
a guard, yeah, dude, he's a
Yeah,
great rebounder and he's a
100%.
good defensive player. His plus minus is plus 124 when he's on the
Yeah.
floor. That
Man.
I don't know. For me, I'm excited to see him in the rotation. I don't
Mhm.
personally. I do not see him starting. I think our starting core is pretty set with Brunson,
Grimes, RJ,
Mhm.
Randall, and
hopefully Mitchell when he comes back.
Sims for now.
But he's off the bench, man. He might even play closing minutes, man. I'm not gonna lie to you because RJ has been terrible defensively this year, man. It's not even fun to see. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll
And
see
also
what
we're
happens.
talking
And
we're talking to a Knicks fan from a very long time. He's been through tough times.
Yeah.
I also give us
He's
an
a real
A.
Knicks fan. He's a real Knicks fan. You got
I
to give it
also
to him.
I also give us an A because at least our off season didn't end up like the Nets. Shout out Brandon and shout out Kevin. But
Hey
but
Brandon, Ben Simmons, let's run it up in Brooklyn.
yeah, but yeah, to close it out, man, I'm just gonna say that man, Hart is a really big pickup for us because also it could alleviate the stress because all this whole season what our biggest problem was, and that's the fourth quarter. So maybe we could set out Grimes, we could set out RJ, we could set out Brunson a little bit more time, and Hart will alleviate that stress a little. Maybe we won't blow as many leads in the fourth quarter, man. So I give it an A. I give it an A. Solid solid trade deadline. We didn't do too much. We didn't do too little, and at least thank goodness we did not trade Zach LaVine, in my opinion.
Yeah,
trade
my
for
quick
Zach LaVine.
Yeah, 100%. I think my quick thoughts, I would give the Knicks an A for this. Obviously, Josh Hart, somebody's gonna play. Unfortunately, Cam Reddish was great. It's not like he was no scrub, but for some reason he just wasn't cracking in Tibbs' rotation after a couple of games. Not sure why. He's a great player.
Which I hate, by the way, because Cam
Yeah,
Reddish is a
mhm,
solid player,
yeah,
man. He's really
100%.
good.
He's a good player, but I'm happy for him. He gets a chance to go to Portland. Clearly, he's gonna play there. Um, he's a great. He's good defender. He can shoot the basketball. He's a very young and promising player. So I give. So I feel like I give both sides an A. Obviously, Josh Hart, good pickup for the Knicks. Obviously, Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, great friends, played together in college. So this is a very good move for the Knicks, and I would say the same thing for Portland. I feel like I give them both A's. Cam Reddish is a great player. Obviously, that's the only question I have with him not wondering why he didn't play. But I think it works out for both sides. So yeah. But Josh, what are your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'd say the same honestly. I mean, I give the Knicks an A. It was a good
Mhm.
move. They get a solid 3-and-D player in Josh Hart. I feel like he can contribute to the team.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I think it was a good deal for both sides. I mean, Cam Reddish, he's a solid player. He wasn't getting much minutes as you guys said, but I feel like maybe he'll get some, more play time in
Yeah.
Trailblazers. I mean
That sounds
Portland.
got you. Josh, just want to know, honestly, obviously, your Spurs made some moves today,
Yeah.
with Jakob Poeltl, a very good Spurs player. He's going back to Toronto. And, we had, I think you guys got Josh Richardson as well. So what are your thoughts on just the trades and everything that San Antonio has done?
I mean, I kind of expected Proto to be moved. I mean, he wasn't going to resign, so we have to get rid of him and get something. So I'm just glad we got a pick. I mean, Cam Birch, I think he's probably going to get waived. I don't know if he's going to be here for long, but he was playing decent for Toronto, not too crazy. Wasn't really getting that much minutes. Pretty much a role player, but I don't really think he fits the timeline. He is 30, so I don't think he matches up with what we're trying to do. So I feel like he'll probably get waived. But I think it was a good move. We did get a pick, so I feel like that was the main goal. So it's better than nothing, honestly.
Yeah, my quick thoughts. I think the Spurs did the right thing. Obviously, we know they're in the pursuit for Victor, right? So,
Yep.
Jakob Poeltl is obviously a great player. Let's not get it right. He did awesome things in San Antonio, but it's clear that if you're gonna try to get Victor, then he's not going to be in the picture for San Antonio for the future. And I'm happy he gets back to Toronto. They could use him. He's a great player. And obviously the Devontae Graham move, they got some picks, but yeah, he might, like you say, potentially might be waived. Any thoughts, Danny?
I don't like that you say in pursuit of Victor. The Spurs are gonna get Victor. Okay, I'm
Fact.
rooting for you, Joshua. I'm
Facts.
rooting for you, man. If anybody deserves Victor
Guaranteed,
Wembanyama, it's
bro.
the Spurs, man.
Facts.
But
I
honestly,
mean, he
man,
fits the bill. He's from France. Tony Parker's from France. He fits the bill, but obviously we know it could happen. It could not happen. It's not 100% guaranteed.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't watched a lot of Spurs basketball this season, but hey, man, Jakob Poeltl is gone. I don't know, man. I still think the Spurs are going for Wemby, and if it gets them one step closer, man, I'm all for it. So I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A. They also got like what 5 second round picks. I feel like
Yeah.
the whole league got five
Yeah,
second
I got
round
you
picks.
got to you got to give them A's. Yeah, for sure. You got it.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
good.
So what are your thoughts on the Clippers and the moves they made, on the trade deadline?
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna start start this off top. Interesting.
Clippers.
Clippers. Okay, let's kind of yeah. So my thoughts on this kind of so obviously we got Bones Highland, we got not John, so we got Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, and Mason Plumlee. So I think if you look at it, I think the Kevin Durant, which we're gonna get into, kind of trade shifted and kind of scared a lot of teams. It looks like because Clippers just piled up some wing players, kind of scoring players because they clearly they had to make a move for sure because with the West getting so strong now with the Mavs and Phoenix. But I like the move of Bone Highland. Obviously, I still don't understand why Denver gave us him for nothing. We got an A for that. I mean, we got him for nothing. I mean, we gave 2 second-round picks to get him. He's a great player. He could score 12. Great player coming off the bench. Eric Gordon, great veteran, a guy who can shoot threes. Think is a perfect fit. And I know we gave up. I think it was like I think we traded John Wall, and then we also traded Luke Kennard. Was also gone to Memphis. And then another one, I think Mason Plumlee. Obviously, Josh has been right all along. And also Danny. We definitely needed another center. We got
Yep.
one. Mason Plumlee's underratedly very good stats. He's averaging 12, 12, basically 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. So he's going to be a great fit for us. I like the moves we like, but there's one concern I do have. We don't have a point guard. We traded John Wall and Reggie
Westbrook on the way,
Jackson.
man.
We don't have a single point. We don't have a true point guard. That puts a lot of pressure on PG. And it's clear I think Russell Westbrook would be coming to the Clippers. And I know people, I might feel a little iffy about it, but I think it makes sense. I think I'm all for Russ coming to it as long as he buys in. And I know if the only way Russ comes if Kawhi and PG are 100% say we're gonna make this happen. And let's see what happens. And let's see if Russ is a it's he comes to the Clippers. We'll find out for sure. But I think I'm
Mm.
kind of in favor. I'm a little iffy because obviously with the journey with the Lakers, but obviously I think he will fit us a lot better because of the shooting that we have. So if I had to give an overall grade for the Clippers, I'm gonna go like a B plus because we did get better. We got a center, but we don't have a true point guard yet. We need a true point. We need a point guard that could set up Kawhi and Paul George. But again, I'm sad to see Reggie go, man, and John Wall. I feel like John Wall wasn't terrible, but I guess it didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a B. Honestly, I mean, y'all stacked on wings. I mean, I feel like that's what you guys are going for. You did finally get the center that I've been saying that you guys need.
Yeah, he's great too.
Plumlee,
Yes.
yeah, good solid piece. But you did get rid of all of your point guards. But Reggie, who I thought was a great player for y'all shipped
Because
out.
right now, Terrence Mann is technically the point guard with Bones Highland, who
Yeah,
technically last time they beat
technically,
us,
yeah,
Bones Highland cooked us, like cooked. So I'm
that's
happy
true.
he's on our side, and he kind of played the point guard, but he's more of a scorer, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
we definitely need a true point guard. Russ
Mm-hmm.
did average 7.5 assists. We could criticize the man, but he could play, mate.
Listen,
Yeah, facts.
my only worry is that why would the Nuggets give him up for basically nothing?
Yeah,
There
that's
has
what
to
I'm
be a
trying to
reason.
say.
There has to be
Yeah,
a reason. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way
yeah.
that if he was a great player, they would probably demand more. But you guys gave him what, like 5
because
second
he
round
just
picks?
and he also was getting minutes, like 2 second rounds. Like I don't understand that. So I mean, I'm happy for the Clippers. Thank you, Denver, right? But I don't
Maybe
understand that
defensively, I
move.
don't know.
The Mason Plumlee move, obviously they gave Reggie Jackson. I think the Hornets were just trying to dump salary, and also I heard they want to get they want to go more young, and Mason Plumlee's kind of more on the older, side, more of a vet. Not older, I'm not going to disrespect him, but more on the vet side. So they wanted to just play their young guys more. And Reggie Jackson gonna get waived, and of course Phoenix about to stack up on these buyout guys. And Reggie Jackson's a great player. I hope he goes to Phoenix. He deserves it. He was a class act in the Clippers, and he was a big reason why they got to the conference finals.
In my opinion, I think you guys are being again too generous.
Okay.
Tucker's gonna say I'm a Clippers hater, but I'm gonna give the Clippers a D on this, man.
Okay. We got to hear the reasons.
Yeah.
Like
Gotta
I
hear these
said,
reasons.
man, Bones Highland, he's a solid player. Don't get me wrong, but
Okay.
there has to be a reason the Nuggets shipped him off for 5 second round picks. It's just
That's
not.
true. Yeah.
There has to be a
Two
reason.
2 second rounds, but
Oh,
regardless,
2 second rounds, sorry,
yeah,
but that's even worse. 2 second rounds, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they gotta be
but
something out there for
technically
that.
for us that's an A
Yeah.
because we didn't give up anything to acquire him. But
no, you're right.
overall,
You're
that's
right.
different.
But I don't know. Maybe he fits. Maybe he doesn't. You know what? But I feel like you guys are overrating Mason Plumlee way too much. I feel like he's not really that much good of a
No,
center.
just a backup adds another center. We don't have another big. That's kind of the reason why. Like we don't have another legit big. Zubats, he doesn't he is forced to play a lot, or we play a lot of small, but which Ty Lue's in favor of.
No,
But he
definitely.
just
But
adds
this is
something.
one thing.
He's an underrated playmaker. But
I
yeah, go ahead.
watched a lot of Charlotte basketball this season. I'm not even gonna
Okay.
lie to you. Any team that goes up against Charlotte, the opposing center on FanDuel, I'm going over rebounds because Plumlee can't grab a rebound for his life.
He averages 10 rebounds a game.
Yeah, but he gets cooked by the opposite centers. I've seen it with my eyes, man. And then his over under points is like, I mean, obviously in the Clippers he's not gonna have to score that many points, but it's like 5 points.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you're gonna call me a Clippers hater, but I don't know. I just think
they could have done better. They got rid of Reggie Jackson, who
I don't know, man. He can
Yeah.
drop when he's hot. Come on, man.
Yeah,
You've seen it. You've
That's
seen
tough.
it.
I think he had a little down here, but I'm a little sad about the Reggie one. But what do you think about Eric Gordon?
Eric Gordon, he's on and off. That's the
Yeah.
only solid piece I get from this because
Okay.
for me, the Reggie Jackson piece is like a big one. Whoever picks him up in the buyout market, hopefully
Phoenix.
the Lakers.
Phoenix won't get him. Phoenix
Getting
won't get
everybody,
him.
bro.
He's going Phoenix. It's already reported about that. He got waived. They kind of already bought him out, so Phoenix is interested. I think he's going to Phoenix.
Yeah,
Lakers would be interesting though.
Exactly. But
What if
I'll give it a D. We give it a D.
All right, sounds good. Now let's move on to the biggest trade that I did not see coming. And Joshua now a member. Yeah, because as he's the member of the Phoenix Suns organization, this is a big trade for his franchise. So
I'm not.
all right. So Woj tweeted that this was a bomb, and I was on the phone with Danny, and I was watching ESPN, and it was like the guy, and then I think one person on ESPN said Kevin Durant on the move, and I was like, wait, what? And then Danny told me, he's like, no, I couldn't believe it. But let me tell you the trade. So basically, Woj tweeted the Suns are sending Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, which was traded to Milwaukee for 5 second-round picks. So yeah, 4 first-round picks, a 2028 pick swap for Durant and TJ Warren. And then also the Nets got basically the picks were Nets got unprotected picks in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029. So yeah, I guess thoughts on the grades for each of these teams.
Well, first I'm gonna start with the Suns. I mean, I think they did a great job. A+. I mean, you secured Kevin Durant, who did want to come there earlier with his previous trade request. You also get TJ Warren, which I think is a really good piece. And I feel like they're going for it right now. They gave up some good young players, but I feel like, with the way that their team was headed, I feel like they were heading away from their championship window. Some argue it was shut. I mean, I think it was shut, honestly. But CP3 agent Booker's there too. But I feel like with the addition of Kevin Durant, I mean, it changed the West. I mean, you've seen teams panic trade. I feel like half of these trades that were made or panic trades to try to
I
compete
feel
with the
like a
Suns,
lot of
man.
them were just
That's
to get
no dumb.
defenders to guard KD.
True.
That's a great take, Josh, because
Yeah.
I recently just saw a tweet too that said that the Raptors didn't want to budge on OG Anunoby because he's a great defender,
Yeah.
and the
And
West team wanted him to
yeah,
defend KD.
yeah, and
That's
now
true.
the value of these like players got even higher. Like apparently Mikal Bridges was going around. Apparently, Woj said he could be worth 3 first-round picks, but the Nets shut it down. But because of that trade, now these kind of players are valued more.
That's true.
Hmm.
Now for the Nets, I give them an F.
Okay.
I mean, honestly,
Let's go. Let's
what
go.
were they thinking? I want to know. Like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall in the front office room while Joe Tsai and Sean Marks were discussing this trade. Because honestly, to me, it makes no sense. I get they're trying to do good by Kevin Durant, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to do the best for your organization. He has 3 years left on his contract. You get some decent pieces back from the trade with Kyrie. So I feel like they could have still made a run. I mean, we seen what Kevin Durant did with a one-legged James Harden in the playoffs. So what could he do with this team? I feel like they could have done like something, like, you know. I feel like this shows that they gave up, and sure they got some good young players for it, but like, what was the cost, man? I feel like sure, like they could make the playoffs this year. I don't know, but to me, like this was a sign that Joe Tsai is incompetent, man. How can you sit there with a straight face as the
100%.
owner, with the owner, Sean Marks too? Your job as a GM is to put your team in the best position to win basketball games. That's what you're supposed to do. You have the best, arguably the best player in basketball. I think is the best player in basketball, and you ship him out with 3 years left on his deal because you're doing him a favor. I mean, to me, that makes no sense. And yes, we know what Sean Marks has done in the past with his successes with the team, but this is inexcusable to me. I mean, in my opinion, bro, Sean Marks step down, Joe Tsai sell the team. They gotta go because this makes no sense, man. Shout out to the Nets fans. I mean, the few that are there, but I
What
mean,
Nets fans?
I
All
don't know what to say.
bandwagon fans, bro, that were Kyrie and KD fans. It was never
I
Nets
don't know
fans
what
to
to say
begin
about this
with.
move. To me, this is a straight F, and anything above an F to me
I'm not
is
trying to violate
insane,
Nets
bro.
fans. But
So what do you guys think about this?
Danny, I'm gonna let you talk first because I have to process this Joshua take. So I'm gonna let Danny get the floor.
Man, I don't even have to say much, man. Josh hit it right on the head.
The Phoenix Suns obviously A plus plus, man. They're contenders again. We were literally just talking about them blowing it up not too long ago.
Yeah,
They were literally about maybe 3 or 4 losses away from blowing it up. Man, shout out the new owner of the Phoenix Suns, Matt Ishbia.
What a man.
yeah.
What a day for this. What?
What a day for Phoenix, man.
The pick and roll between CP3 and Ayton with Devin Booker, arguably a young Kobe, and one of the greatest scorers
Yeah.
on the 3-point line. It's one of the greatest trades in NBA history, in my
We got
opinion.
TJ
man.
Warren, who's a great player
And
too.
TJ Warren too. Like, I don't know. And
Still
like
got-
Josh says, for the Nets,
yeah.
Joe Tsai, if you're listening to this, which I mean, hopefully you are. If you are, sell the team, please. Go back to New Jersey. The only
Facts.
team in New York
Relocate,
is the
man.
Knicks. Please relocate. What? I don't know.
Why now? You have 3 years and you still have arguably one of the best players in the world in KD
Exactly.
for 3 years.
He had no leverage. He literally had no leverage. I don't think he would have done the Kyrie and sit out. He's not that type of player. I just don't see what the Nets were thinking. The Suns did give up. Okay, we'll give Mikal Bridges, great player, but KD, you get Kevin Durant, and
he's not in. Let's say he's not in his prime, but he's near the end of his prime, which is still great.
Yeah.
But come on, they're title. Give them the title already, man. I'm pretty sure they're favorites on.
They're favorites on FanDuel already.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it up to Tushar, see what he says. But you're right. By the way, shout out Kevin, shout out Brandon. I know you guys are listening. But yeah, Tushar, I want to hear your thoughts.
Ooh. Interesting takes. That's all I'm gonna start with. Obviously, make it quick, Suns get an A plus. I mean, simple as that. You got Kevin Durant, arguably, in a lot of people's eyes, the best player in the world. So some people think it's Giannis, but any day, when healthy, he's definitely one of the best. You add him, to a team that we thought the window was closed. They have CP3, Booker, and A, and we knew maybe they're one piece away. That one piece is a superstar player who just joined them. Obviously, they're bench depleted, but obviously they're gonna get some players on the buyout market. But when you have Kevin Durant, and basically Kevin Durant's in the perfect situation. This is what he just wants to hoop, and there was too much drama in Brooklyn, so this kind of situation fits in perfectly. What do you need in a team? You need 2 star players, right? You got a superstar in Kevin Durant. You got a superstar in Devin Booker. You need a guy who can play make, facilitate the offense. CP3 is the best at it. You need a good big man, DeAndre Ayton. You need a good coach. You got Monty Williams. I mean, this team is set up for KD to come in and win a championship. There's a lot of pressure for Phoenix to win it all this season. A lot of pressure. For the Nets, I don't know about the F. I don't know about the sell the team baloney that you guys are
Oh,
going on.
come
But
on.
I'm
Come
a, I'm
on.
a, I'm
Stop
gonna
it.
go.
Stop it.
Hey, bro, Joe Tsai got him on payroll, bro.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Yes,
Just
yes.
stop, bro. Just stop,
hey,
bro.
I think you've
Let
been
me.
talking to Brandon too much, man. You got to let it go.
Hey, Brandon got his own issues with Ben Simmons. I've got my own, thing here, but I just want to say, for me, let me speak, and then you guys can violate me because obviously we got 2/3 of the people here that are in favor of Joe Tsai and Sean Marks to be gone from the New Jersey Nets or whatever. But for me, I give the Nets a C. I mean, this is not a terrible trade. I think with the Nets, for personally after the Kyrie Irving
Wow.
trade, whether like how the Kyrie Irving trade was handled, personally me, I'm not saying what they did, but personally me, I might have been forced to give him the contract extension because at the end of the day, if Kyrie was the person that could have kept KD here, I would have done it because you were the second seed. You definitely had a chance to win a championship. I don't like the championship stipulation that they did, but I do think,
See, there I'm with you. There I'm with you. Yes, I
but
agree that the championship one was baloney, like you said.
yeah, they shouldn't have done that. But if you want to give a contract, maybe give a 3-year deal. I know it was a hesitation, but championship stipulation is a little disrespectful. I don't think you should be doing that, so I don't agree with that kind of move. I do think maybe you give him a 3-year deal and be like, okay, we match you up with KD. You make KD happy because KD and Kyrie are tired, and you saw the domino effect once Kyrie was gone. I mean, a few days later, we didn't expect this, but KD's gone too. So I would have kept probably Kyrie, even though you might be hesitant to give him that long-term deal. But you got to understand, to win, man, you had to do it, and they obviously decided not to do it. Made the trade. They were, I think, at this point just sick of the drama. They moved. Made the move. Um, and then obviously, what I think for the Nets, they knew is that people say that it was inevitable in a sense that I think I was hearing all over ESPN that they knew that if it wasn't now, it was going to be in the summer, that the Nets were probably going to move forward because even though the team was great, they was not better than Philly, currently destructed. They was not better than Boston. They was not better than Milwaukee. There's Cavs who have a lot of stars there. So it was a lot of great teams that had a lot of star power. And you could even argue the Knicks maybe were better than them. So you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Kevin Durant is a superstar, but you know what? I just think the Nets knew it was kind of the end, and I think it was maybe the right move at that moment. Like I said, they should have kept Kyrie, but they didn't. So I give them a C. Obviously, Mikal Bridges is a great player, great defender. I think he's gonna fit in well. Cam Johnson, they got a lot of picks. So I think they
Can't
get
forget about the
they,
stud Cam Thomas, man. What a player.
meaning they got Cam Johnson, but they have Cam Thomas as well. But I think for me the Nets get a solid C. But obviously the only issue I have is that what happened that they did it so quick. I think for them they did right by KD because KD did right by them. He was a hooper. He
Oh,
showed up
here
when
we go.
he was a hooper. He
Here
showed
we
up.
go.
He showed up when it mattered. Not when it mattered. He always showed up to work. He never had any issues. Only time he missed games when he was injured. But he was a professional there, and I think he deserved for him to go to the team that he deserved. But at the end of the day, when you make a trade for Kevin Durant, I'm not here to disrespect Mikal Bridges or Cam Johnson. I'm surprised you don't get a Jaylen Brown, some sort of star caliber player. That's the only thing that surprised me because they didn't really get one. If we considering Ben Simmons a star, then that's the only thing they got left right there in that franchise. So yeah, but I think it was inevitable. Once they traded Kyrie Irving, it was kind of clear that if it wasn't now in the summer, it was going to happen. And I don't really like you look at Sean Marks. Obviously, we're actually going to get into this soon when we talk about it later. So I'm going to save this for a little later. But I don't really think about. I think Sean Marks did an incredible job with them. Joe Tsai, I don't know, obviously, but personally, I think
Hearing
Sean
this,
Marks did a
Josh?
great job. He built around KD, Kyrie very good. He got them hard in all these pieces. But we're going to get into this a little later. I don't think he
What
did a terrible job though. But we're gonna
what
get into it
Joe
later.
Tsai did was go into a deli, give the clerk $1, and got back 10 cents.
This
That's
guy,
what he
man.
did. In my opinion, that's
We're,
what he
we're,
did.
we're gonna get into this more because we're gonna talk about this Brooklyn Nets being a big three failure very soon. But in the meantime, Josh, let us get into topic 2.
Oh, hold on. Before we move on, Josh, I have a quick question for you, man.
Man.
Just quick thoughts, man. What do you think about KD and this whole pressure situation? Just a quick thoughts. What do you think? Is he forced to win a championship with the Suns or no?
I mean, that's the goal. I mean, the team already without him already went to the finals. So if they don't get back there, I mean, questions have to be asked. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pressure for him to win because the roster is pretty much like exactly what he needs. He has the star power. Everything is set. He's the
Perfect
missing
fit. Yeah.
piece. He's the missing piece. And if this team does not get to the finals, I mean, yeah, like it'll be a big embarrassment.
All right, that's all I wanted to know. Just to move on.
So next, topic two, WWE. So what do you guys thoughts on the WWE Bloodline storylines? How would you like it to play out?
So, you want to go first, Danny?
Man, WrestleMania season, man, my favorite season of all. No, I'll let you go first, man. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts about the Bloodline because I know me and you have different thoughts and having,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
different fans. I'm an AEW
Yeah.
fan, you're a WWE fan.
But for me personally, when I looked at the storyline, obviously I think this was one of the best storytelling of 2022 going into 2023 as well. I mean, you look at this kind of Sami Zayn joined the Bloodline, and it was kind of supposed to be seen as a comedy act. Then it worked. The fans bought into it. He joined the Bloodline, and then eventually at the Rumble, instead of Roman Reigns being the one to attack it first, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns kind of, in a sense, kind of made him angry and frustrated. That kind of led to him attacking with the chair. Same as the Shield thing with Seth Rollins. Super cool. That kind of same kind of thing happened, and he turned on him, and now they're facing at the Elimination Chamber. I think Sami Zayn's kind of run deserves a championship with now Cody Rhodes coming back, which he deserves to win the Royal Rumble and also be a champion. They're in like a tough dilemma in a sense because a lot of people want to see Sami win as well as Cody. And obviously, what it looks like is going to happen is Roman and Cody's going to happen. And Sami Zayn looks like is going to lose at the Elimination Chamber at his hometown. But I wish, how would I like it to play out? I think there's multiple options. For me, the first preferred option would, if they split the titles, night one, maybe Sammy faces Roman, and night two, maybe Cody versus Roman. The other option would be a triple threat match, but obviously only one can win, but that's a little less. Or another option I heard is most likely is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens faces the Usos for the tag team champions, but I'm not too sure. But I really like if they splitted the titles, but it clearly looks like maybe Sami Zayn will go for the tag team championships. That's what it's looking like.
Man, first of all, man, what a storyline, man. This is why I fell in love with wrestling in the first place, man.
This is arguably one of the best storylines in history.
The only way I see it played out is like you said, man. Sammy needs to win that title.
He needs it.
Cody, then again, I honestly see this playing out like past WrestleMania because this storyline is so complex. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so
You
many
have,
elements to it,
you
bro.
have Jay
Because
Uso too,
we're
yeah, right
waiting for
now.
Jay Uso to turn on Roman.
What about Jimmy and Jay? Like how they're brothers. Are they gonna like if Jimmy does turn, is he gonna stand with him? Is he gonna stand with his tribal chief?
And then we have the wild card Solo Sikoa. Like we don't know what's going on with him, but he's a star in the making as well. So honestly, I see it going like Cody wins the title at Mania. Sammy sadly wins the tag team titles, and maybe Sammy gets a run at it at SummerSlam. Hopefully, I wouldn't even be mad if Jay even wins the title at SummerSlam. But
Mm.
Man, this is what a storyline this has been, honestly. But yeah, that's how I see it playing it out.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So let's move on to topic three. This is going to be exciting. We got the predictions for the Champion League round of 16. Let's start off with the first one, Leipzig versus Man City.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good game. I mean, we all know the team that Man City is, stacked. But they've been going through some issues right now off the field as well. I mean, they did get rid of Cancelo, but there's been some issues financially we heard. But I guess we'll get into that later. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they have the talent to get past this team, even though Leipzig is no like they're not a slouch team. They have some talent on the
They're
roster.
not scrubs. They
Yeah,
definitely
they got
aren't.
Timo Werner, they got Sabazlai as well. I mean, I feel like it's a good team, but I feel like Man City will just have the edge. They have too much talent on the roster to lose this. I think.
yeah, Josh, I got to go with you on that one, man.
Any team that has
Holland up front, man,
Mm.
I don't see them losing. I got Man City winning.
Got you, got you. Next matchup. I hope I say this name right. Club Borrego versus Benfica.
Club Bruges.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I feel like Bruges is a good team. They do got a player I like in Noah Lang. I feel like he's really good. He may have some issues off the pitch, but like that's what a lot of star players. But I feel like Benfica, they're a great team, even though they did just sell Enzo Fernandez. I feel like they have a lot of talent on this roster, and I feel like Benfica will beat them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little biased here, man. I've always been a Benfica fan. They always produce young studs all around the world. Like you said, they just sold Enzo Fernandez, but they still have nice young core.
That's true.
I don't see a way Bruges beats them. Benfica just has that history behind them too. They're a great, solid Portuguese team, and I don't see them losing. So I got them. I got them advanced too.
So let's go to the next matchup, Liverpool versus Real Madrid.
Me, I'm picking Real Madrid, man. Liverpool's been on the downslide right now. I mean, I mean,
I know.
Liverpool's been on the downslide right now. I mean, Real Madrid. I mean, they are second in the league right now in their league, La Liga. So I feel like Real Madrid has the talent, as is Liverpool, but it's not clicking for Liverpool right now, and I don't think it's gonna start clicking when they play one of the top teams in the world right now. So I feel like Real Madrid will have this pretty not comfortably, but I feel like they'll have this like in the bag.
Man, I got Real Madrid beating Liverpool 7-0, maybe even 9-0.
Man, that has not been clicking for Liverpool this season, man. Their stud, who was supposed to be a stud, what's his name? I keep forgetting. Oh, Darwin Nunes.
Yeah,
Man, he can't even hit
yeah, he's
a
not looking good, man.
40 feet. Oh my God, this is. I don't know, man. You can't go up against Real Madrid, especially in the Champions League. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
second in La Liga, but Barcelona's the best, obviously. But
Mhm.
You can't go against Real Madrid in the Champions League, so especially for Liverpool and some. But like again, it is a Champions League, so you never know. But I do see Real Madrid going through Liverpool easily 9-0.
Mm.
My good dang. All right, so the next matchup, I apologize if I say these names wrong. Milan versus Tottenham.
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 The
Sorry.
Spurs.
Yeah, so me, I'm picking Milan easily. I mean, I might be a bit biased as an Arsenal fan, but to me, like Tottenham is gonna get cooked here. I mean, Lloris is out. I heard their manager is also out. He has some health issues as well. Hope he gets better with that. But to me, Milan is a stacked
Mhm.
team. I mean, Tottenham to me is not ready. Sure they got a good roster, but like Milan's team is literally stacked from top to bottom. They got Tonali, they got Brahim Diaz. Like it's just one of those teams where like I feel like they could make a surprise run this year, in my opinion. Like they're stacked. Tottenham to me, no competition honestly, and they will be out.
Wow, Josh. I guess this is where we defer. I got Tottenham beating Milan. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the Spurs have their issues, but when you have a striker like Harry Kane,
that's true. Yeah,
I can't count them out, man. And
that's true.
especially Heung-min Son. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on, he's such a
man.
good player, man. Lloris out is gonna hurt, but
I don't know, man. I can't. Yeah, Harry Kane misses a lot, but I don't know. I can't go against the Spurs. I got Tottenham beating. Maybe 1-0. I don't see much goals in this contest.
but I do see Tottenham advancing.
Mm.
Mhm. Let's go on to the next one. Again, I apologize if I said these names wrong. Frankfurt versus Napolio.
Napoli.
Yo,
Napoli.
That was the
my
best
bad, yo. My
one.
kind of pronouncing these teams is off, but yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
This to me will be. I think it'll be a really good game. I mean, Napoli. They have a decent roster as
Napoli.
well. I mean,
Okay.
they got Herman Lozano. They got Kvaratskhelia. They have and Dembele. I think he's really good too. And they have Azim, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, but you know what I mean. I think he's a pretty good player too. Like I feel like they have a pretty good roster, a pretty offensive minded team, and it's really good. I mean Frankfurt they're solid too. They do have Colin Milani, who I think is a good player. We saw what he did for France in the World Cup, but I will be saying Napoli has the win here.
Yeah, I might be a little biased because you have Irving Lozano on Napoli, but
Hmm.
Have you, Josh? Have you seen Giovanni Simeone play recently? Oh my
No, I
goodness.
haven't. He's
oh
good.
my, he's really good, and he's son of Atletico Madrid's coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's when you have so much talent up front, you have him, you have Matteo Politano, you have Lozano, who's always a wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up and down, but
He'll get it.
just the pace. I got Napoli winning easily, man.
Hmm.
So next matchup, Dortmund versus Chelsea.
Um, I'm gonna go with Chelsea here. I mean, I know that they're not doing too good in the league right now, but they've spent I think 200 million in the window, and they've added a ton of talent. I mean, like that's the least I could say. I mean, some of the names. I mean, Madueke, Fafana. They signed Joao Felix on loan, which I think was a steal. I don't know how they even pulled that off. I mean, they signed
Steal.
Mudrik.
I don't know. I don't know how they
Like
got Joao
Enzo
Felix on
Fernandez. I
loan.
mean, like they signed tons of talent. I feel like they're ready to. I feel like they're prepping for next season because I don't know if they can put together this season, but I feel like essentially this season is being used as preseason. I feel like
They
they're
didn't
writing it off
didn't they
already.
sorry for cutting you off. Didn't they like give a lot of money? People criticize about how much money these players got.
Yeah,
Thoughts
that's
on
true. I
that?
mean, there were some questions about financial fair play, but I feel
Mm.
like what they're doing is like I've heard that like they're stretching the contracts really far. So I feel like one player even got like a 7-year deal, and that's not that common. So I feel like
Mm.
they're trying to break up the payment so it's like so they fit into like the regulations, which I
That's
think is it's fair, but it's kind of
that's
like
yeah.
if that's what you got to do to stay in
Yeah.
the
And
financial bracket, like
Enzo
is it worth
Fernandez
it?
had a good World Cup too. They won the
That's
World
true.
Cup. So and
Yeah.
Joao Felix with Portugal, they had a decent run. So
Yeah, and Dortmund, they're a good team. I mean, they to me they're one of the best academies, not academies, but like best like development because they develop a lot of good young players. They got Jude Bellingham, they have Julian Brandt, they have Hummels as well. I mean, they have a lot of good players on the team, but I feel like Chelsea will just come away with the win this time.
hmm, okay.
Maybe like again, maybe it's my bias, but I don't see Chelsea doing much in this Champions League, even with all their splash. Maybe they'll do better. They'll piece it together and do well next season, but I think this season they're just gonna throw it in the toilet because
Yeah,
I don't know, man. They're just not playing good football.
I don't know if you've seen their game recently. Joao Felix, yeah, his first game coming, we're playing as Chelsea. He got a red card. Like the midfield is just not creating any chances at all.
yeah,
Like it's just
I just think Dortmund has enough, and there's always like one or two surprises in the Champions League. So I think
Sure.
Dortmund could be that team.
yeah.
So let's go on to the next one. Inter versus Porto.
I feel like this would be another good game. I mean, you know, Inter, Lukaku leading the line. They got some solid, they got some
Tushar's
solid
favorite
players,
player.
Yeah, his favorite player, bro. They got some solid players on the roster. I mean, they play good as well. They got Mkhitaryan, but I feel like Porto is also good. They shouldn't be slept on. Like they got some talent on the roster as well. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like Inter will take this. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I gotta disagree with you there, man. I gotta take Porto, man. Porto
Mm-hmm.
is always such a solid team, man. I just see them winning. They they got a lot of young stars, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust Inter at all, especially when you have Tuchel's favorite player Lukaku in front when he misses.
Clear chances all the time. How horrible World Cup from him. So I think he continues that streak and Porto get it done.
Okay. Let's move on to the last matchup in the first leg of the round of 16. We got PSG versus Bayern.
I think this would be a
This is
great,
a good one.
like game to watch. I mean, I did hear that Mbappe like might not make the first leg, so that
Oh
could
yeah, that's
have an impact
true.
as
Yeah.
well. He is hurt right now.
And
Mhm.
Messi
So
also just picked up an injury as well, correct?
yeah, so I mean,
Oh,
yeah, that's
oh,
not looking too good for them. Two of
ooh.
their most important players, in my opinion. I mean, we know what Bayern has full of talent on the roster. They did just pick up Cancelo from Man City, which I think was a steal of a signing. I don't know what even happened there. I heard it was a bust up in training or something like that. But who knows? I mean, we know that Bayern is stacked. Like the team they have is just amazing. As is PSG. I mean, I feel like both of these teams, like this could be a final matchup, but you know how it goes. And I don't know, man. We've seen PSG like flame out before in the Champions League. I mean, honestly, I can't say that I see them winning it this year again. I mean, I feel like they're good, but something always goes wrong. So I'm just gonna pick Bayern this time.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. Coming as a Messi fan, I gotta go with you on that one. I don't know what it is, Josh. I don't know. Every time Messi plays against Bayern,
Mhm.
Bayern always seems to destroy
Yeah,
Messi's team.
I've seen
yeah,
this countless times as a Barcelona fan.
But
Every time we see that badge, it's like 8-2, 7-1. Like, oh my
yeah,
goodness.
but
I,
don't you
I
think?
heard I
Go
heard
ahead.
he's not going to play, so
Mhm.
PSG is a talented team, but with just Neymar, I don't see it happening. Plus, I don't know if you've seen. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I know his first name is like Jamal Musiala. I think his
Oh
name is.
yeah, 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 he's good. He's
Man,
good. He's
he's
good.
a stud.
Um,
He should have got more playing. Him can never count on Mueller. Then that backline. That backline is scary, man. You got Delict, Pavard,
yeah.
Cancelo, and Alfonso Davis. I just don't see how PSG get
Yeah.
it done. To
So
be honest with
you
you.
don't think PSG could maybe, let's say, in the first leg they lose due to injuries, but maybe the second leg they could still win it, or think Bayern has this?
Well, if
I mean, it's
Mbappe comes
possible,
back,
but
Yeah, let's say their two guys come back. Do you still think they have a chance to maybe win it, or you think Bayern got this?
I just think Bayern's too solid of a team. I don't
Gotcha.
know. And I heard, it's just rumors, but I heard Mbappe and Neymar don't really have that much good relationship.
Yep.
We don't know how that chemistry. You can never count out Bayern. They're such a
This might
solid
this
team,
could
and
be
that
a
German discipline. It's just
yeah.
I don't see them. I don't see them losing.
If they lose, this could be a huge failure for sure.
I mean, not for Messi because he's the greatest of all time. But we'll talk about that some other time.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll
Meaning in
get to
general,
that,
just
man.
as a team success, he came there with these kind of stars. But
Yo,
yeah,
Tushar, aren't you missing one team from the Champions League? Al Nassr?
oh, that is tough. Oh, dang. Now, see, I was actually
All
looking at
jokes,
the list
Josh. All jokes.
like I was missing a team. Dang.
All jokes, Josh. All jokes.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Let's move on to next part of this topic. So, what is your reactions to the Premier League transfer window?
To me, I mean, story of the window was Chelsea. I mean, they broke the Premier League transfer record with the signing of Enzo Fernandez for 132 million. They also signed Mudryk for 100 million. So I feel like they're just like running the money right now. Like they're going for everything they can. I mean, they're spending literally money on money. I mean, there was also some other good signings as well, but I feel like Chelsea is literally the name when it comes to the window. I mean, Arsenal, we did pick up some decent players. We did sign from Brighton Trossard. I think he's a solid pickup. We did also sign a defender. I mean, I feel like they'll add some depth, but yeah, I feel like Chelsea is literally it. They spent literally crazy amounts. I don't even think I think like Danny said, it's for next season. I feel like they already wrote off the season, and it's just insane to me
Yeah.
that even was a thing, bro. So much money spent, man.
Man, I mean,
Honestly, for the transfer window, I got nothing much to say. 'Cause my team, Man United, man. I don't. They made a couple signings here and there, but nothing too that would push them over the top. It was like Josh said, it was mostly Chelsea, man. They signed
Yeah,
that. They signed that Ukrainian forward, correct?
yeah, Mudryk,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
solid pickup.
He's
I
yeah,
don't know how he's going to work out because I'm telling you, I think Chelsea's problems in the midfield. And
exactly, yeah.
Enzo Fernandez is definitely the guy to fix that. But
Mm,
I don't know, man. You got to have more productivity, man. It's like Enzo Fernandez is definitely going to, like I said, change the mindset in the Chelsea midfield. But
That's
yeah,
basically the story, man. But we'll see what happens. Arsenal is definitely going to win the league this year.
I feel that too.
And guys, right next to the next question, do you think Arsenal can hold on to win the league?
No doubt in my mind, Josh.
Yeah,
Man
not gonna lie,
City. Yep.
huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, not gonna lie. I always had that in the back of my mind that we were gonna mess something up, but and we did just lose to Everton. But with this news coming out about Man City about the financial fair play, possible point reduction, I mean, I feel like it's as good as locked because the way we're playing right now, we're playing consistent, we're playing good. Yes, the Everton loss wasn't a good game, but I feel like we'll bounce back from that. Man City, they did just lose to Tottenham, which I mean, like that's tough, but like things like that happen. But I feel like the way that we're playing right now under the manager, we will win the league. I feel confident now. I didn't for a long time, but now I'm feeling it. I don't know. I feel good right now. Honestly, this could change, but right now, I'm feeling we got it unlocked.
Nah, yeah, you guys got it on lock. Man City with all these like possible benches they're gonna face, and possibly even extortion from the Premier League. We don't know. We got to see what happens, but
Yeah,
Man City just lost to Tottenham. Like, come on. You guys are 5 points clear of the lead with
yeah,
one game less played than Man City. Let's
facts.
say Man City gets a point deduction. All right. You guys are
Yeah,
scared of Man United, and I'm a Man United fan.
yeah,
We just tied to Leeds. We were down 2-0. Yeah, we came back 2-0. I mean, I don't really see United really challenging Arsenal, but even that, we played two more games than you guys, and we're 7 points back. So
yeah.
congratulations, Josh. I think you guys got it. You guys will be seeing the
Finally, man,
champions.
you guys will
for the
be seeing the
first time in
Champions League
forever,
next
bro.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on. Next topic 4: the Lakers hosted OKC on February 8th, 2023, and LeBron has done it with a 15-foot fall away shot in the final seconds of the third quarter. LeBron has passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the NBA all-time leading scorer. He needed 36, finished with 38. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Tushar,
obviously
do
we
you
got
want me to go first? Because I know we
yeah.
have different takes on this,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know.
First, I'll just say obviously we got this source from CBS, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay. Man, what else can you say about LeBron, man? I literally was watching this, almost had tears in my eyes, watching how much pressure LeBron came in the league with
yeah,
all this
Hmm.
chosen one stuff.
For
Every
sure.
he was 18 coming into the league with this amount of pressure, and look what
yeah,
he has done with it. This is why, like, in my opinion, like, I don't like we're gonna get into it, but obviously, but
Man, when he hit that shot and all that celebration, you see the tears in his eyes.
I think you can't doubt it anymore, man. We are seeing the greatest player of our time live. This is my opinion, but I don't know what Tushar is gonna think.
I mean, just to generally talk about the thoughts. I mean, for a guy again, Danny's right. He came with a lot of pressure in the league, and he's exceeded all the expectations. A guy who is a pass first guy who just he became the all time leading scorer. I mean, this is a. I mean, he's if you talk about a whole just his career, just longevity, he's had the best that you could ever have. Number one in points, top 5 in assists. He's gonna retire in. I mean, this guy's had a legendary career, and to actually watch it on TV. And actually, I was on the phone with Danny, and my TV was behind. So I'm telling him like, yo, I'm gonna call him back because I'm like, yo, I don't want the moment to be ruined. No, no knock on Danny. I just want to see it live without be like Danny being like, yo, he did it. Like I just want to see it live and the shot, the fadeaway,
He was
everything
so
was
funny,
just.
Josh. I was like, he's 2 points away. Tushar's like, he's still 6 points away. What are you talking about?
My TV was behind, like for real. So I was just like, yo, I have to like, like I just wanted to hang up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna call him back. No disrespect, but yeah. So then, but in general, this is a awesome achievement. It's like I like the way the NBA stopped the game, celebrated. His family came out. It was a deserving moment. Happy to see Kareem there with LeBron. Everybody was there. All the celebrities were a big thing, and I'm happy he got his moment. But obviously with the discussion of the greatest of all time, me and Josh have never said who we think the GOAT is. These discussions go on forever, but the one thing I will talk about is that if you have thought that MJ was the GOAT before this, your opinion has not changed. If you thought LeBron was the GOAT before this,
Yeah,
your
I
opinion has
agree.
not changed. So the people who think MJ is
Good
the GOAT
point.
still or LeBron, their opinion has not changed most likely. I don't think this would have shifted it in a lot of people's opinions. But yeah, I mean, this is whatever you think, regardless. LeBron's one, Michael's two, Michael's one, LeBron's two. It's clearly these guys are the top 2 greatest players of all time. I'll keep it as that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is a feat. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see this again, honestly. Generational talent from since the day he stepped on the court at 18. And I feel like you guys said, lived up to every expectation. And this is a player, mind you, who's not even known for his scoring. When people think of the greatest scorers of all time, I don't think he's on the list. He's a pass first player, he's a
That's
Good
what I'm
playmaker,
point.
saying.
Good
and he's
point.
here. So imagine if he was focused on scoring, how high he would be. I mean, this just shows his greatness. I mean,
Yeah.
arguably, he's the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
Top 2,
And
definitely.
and with load
No debate.
management, this record ain't never being broken.
Honestly, especially with the
Yeah.
way the
I,
players,
I think I think Kawhi Leonard has a shot
Oh,
at it.
here we go.
his
Ah,
longevity. I mean,
this
that's
class.
special in itself. I mean, I feel like he is one of the greatest.
Oh
He is
man,
the greatest player I've ever seen in my life.
Danny be having me
Honestly,
weak, but yeah,
he
sorry
is
about that.
all time. I mean, there's always a debate for that. And like Tushar said, I mean, I feel like your mind's already made up, and this won't change it. Honestly, there may be
Whatever you
some
think
people
it,
who have changed their mind because of this, but I feel like it's a slim few
yeah,
because I feel like like he said, kind of like your mind was already made up, and
yeah.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
now if you
this
have LeBron
great
ranked,
achievement.
like 8th or ninth, okay, maybe there's some,
Yeah,
that's a problem. But
Mm.
some people have, Kobe. There's some preferences. Some people just
that's
believe.
true.
But
Yeah,
obviously, I
But
look at Michael and LeBron as the clear top 2 guys. I think Kareem, doesn't get the love he deserves. He's clearly top 3 for me. But yeah, it was just an awesome.
Like, I don't know if you guys
Awesome.
like have like
soaking in the magnitude of this moment, guys.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
yeah,
special
this
moment for
is
sure.
this is like
we will be telling our grandchildren about the
for real.
date we witnessed LeBron break that record.
Yeah,
like
and what could it be?
this is
In
untouchable.
LA, the person who
Yeah,
did it was in LA, does it in LA. What an awesome achievement!
yeah, and the
But
handing over of the ball too, man.
Mm.
That was
One
so
quick
great.
note I wanted to think. I remembered. Did you guys see that clip of AD sitting down while everybody was celebrating? I don't know if you guys like.
Nah, I
Yeah, I
didn't
was
see it.
If
interested in what
it's a
was kind
big
of the.
story or not.
Yeah, it was kind of a big story, but then like like then I was seeing into that it seems like he was upset, and I was hearing that even during the halftime there was problems with Russ and Darvingham. They were going at it, so everything was just even though this was a great moment, this should have been our
Yeah,
focus. It looks like there was some turmoil in the locker room.
yeah, I just said.
Looks like it's Russ strikes again. Can't wait to see that in the Clippers locker room.
Oh my goodness! Come on, let's not disrespect the guy that much. But let's
Yeah,
Josh. Let's
but
move on to the next part. We were gonna. I think
yeah.
there was an
So
interesting thing
and
we're about to talk about.
sad to spoil the moment, but OKC did win the game, 133 to 130. Shy led the way with 30 points and 8 assists. So were you surprised that OKC beat the Lakers on LeBron's historic night?
Danny.
super surprised. I thought LeBron breaking the record would put him a little fuel into the Lakers. I
Yeah,
even live betted the Lakers down when they were down. Like maybe like plus 200. I put
Like $50 on because I was like, there's no way they're losing on LeBron's historic night. But man, Shy is just one heck of a player, man. You got to give him his props. He's I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was shocked. But The Thunder are a great team. They're here to stay. Imagine this. They're doing this without Chet Holmgren. Like,
That's true. Yeah.
this is amazing. But then again, this is
Lakers with all the turmoil, and then I know Russ was mad because he was in trade talks. And no, I mean, I usually never knock on LeBron, but
I mean, unfortunately, he was in trade talks every day. But yeah,
I really it's like I don't know what LeBron was thinking with that interview, talking about like, man, I really wish we had Kyrie.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
yeah, I don't
knowing
know. Like
knowing
bottom
your
line is he's gonna do that, and clearly he kind of like even when the season ended, he was like they asked me, "Yo, what player you want to play?" He says Steph. Like these kind of things. Like I understand it, but I think to come out publicly and say, I don't know.
It's like Josh going to like ESPN and saying, "Man, I wish I had a better co-host than Tushar."
Yeah, like you're saying that while Westbrook is really on the roster under
I
contract.
think yeah,
knowing
it's a
he's in trade
little.
talk.
I think it's
That's
great that
crazy,
the
man.
trade happened because this is and I heard that even if the trade didn't happen, that I think the Lakers would have sent him home. Like it was getting to that point. So
Yeah, I think it was just Westbrook, man. Hopefully, we'll see the Lakers research, like with all this the trades. But
and we all know Westbrook's still a great player. I think this was just a terrible fit, and again he became the scapegoat. Him and Frank Vogel. So it's an interesting thing. But to go back onto the historic night thing, I was stunned that the Thunder came in and win. I mean, you think the Lakers would win, and the Lakers, guys, the players on the roster would be like, okay, let's at least win the game today. They said, nah,
Yeah.
OKC just came in shooting lights out from three, Shy doing whatever he wanted. I mean, this was an OKC team. Shout out to them. They don't, as much as national games we be watching, they'd never be on it, right? So obviously it's nice to see them on that stage, and it was actually a big game for them to come in and knowing that yes, this is a big moment, obviously with LeBron, and it's a huge moment. It should be celebrated. Like we're here to do something. We're trying to win a game, and they didn't let that phase them, and they kind of took that as motivation, and they came out with a win.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, this is actually not that surprising to me. I mean, people forget that
wow,
the Lakers are
wow,
actually one of the worst teams in basketball. Last time I checked, this
wow.
is a 13-12 seed matchup. I mean, I don't know what people were expecting. I mean, we know that the Lakers have talent,
Yeah,
but
but
the
we
way
know
that
the
they're
West
playing,
is tight too. Like they're 3 games
I mean, yeah,
behind, and they
that's
could
true,
jump up too.
but
But
the way
yeah,
that they've been playing, I mean, I'm not really surprised. I mean,
yeah.
we've seen what Shai can do. We've seen the Lakers have struggled recently, but I mean, I'm not too surprised. Obviously, I did think that LeBron's night would give them the boost, but it didn't work. I mean, I'm not too surprised at this. I mean, I did think, you know, that LeBron event would have given them the boost to, grab the win, but it didn't happen. But not too surprising for me, honestly.
Hmm.
That's surprising to hear, Josh, because I had a couple friends that went over there that was actually at they were at the Raptors, but
Yeah,
man, they said the atmosphere was crazy. It's like
there was something in the air, like wow, like
hmm
Yeah, they
and
said like it felt like a playoff game. I've been hearing, and it.
yeah, like I don't know. It was just I mean you are right though. The Lakers are one of the worst teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. To be honest, well, not
But
with the
now
trades,
their
you
team
never
is
know.
better though. But yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe you're right, Josh. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised. But then the king. We can't doubt the king on a historic night. I thought he
that's
was gonna
true. Yeah.
make 50 points and will the Lakers to a win.
I'm surprised he did it in the third quarter. He did so quick. I thought it was gonna be in the fourth. Did it in the third. Got 38 right in third. All right, so let's move on to topic number 5. This is the big thing. The Nets' big three, James, KD, and Kyrie, has come to an end. They've all been traded. Is this the biggest failure in NBA history? And who do you blame for the Nets disaster? Maybe give me like a percentage, who gets most of the blame and all
We
that kind
we,
of
we
stuff.
gotta let Josh start on this one. I cannot wait to hear his
Let's
rant.
hear his take. Let's hear his take because Josh
Come
has
on,
some
Josh.
very
Okay,
interesting
let's hear
takes.
this, bro.
Please
He's
have
a
the
Kate.
floor, man.
Remember
Oh,
before he talks, he's a KD super fan who goes wherever KD goes. But let
stop
him
the cat,
talk.
bro. Okay, let's get to my take, right?
Let's hear
So
this.
if this is about, right, which I assume it is, right? This is about the entire net saga, right?
Okay.
So discounting the injury season, I'm
Okay.
gonna go off of what happened after that. And for the most part, honestly, the blame ends and starts with Kyrie Irving,
Okay.
100%. Not 100% on him, but
wow.
he takes the majority of the blame.
Give a percentage. Let's get a percentage.
Okay, if I were to give a percent, I mean, I'm gonna say KD 0%. He did his job. He did what
Okay.
he would do. He always committed to the organization. I'm gonna say honestly, Kyrie 85%. Front office
Wow.
15%, bro.
We're gonna have a debate about this one. Wow.
15% because I feel like Kyrie. I mean, we know what he did with the vaccine situation, which is his decision, honestly. So
And
I'm
like
not gonna
again,
really
a lot of players didn't get vaccine
That's
problem. He
true.
played
So
for New York,
that's fair.
but obviously that had effect on the team, and that led to James Harden's departure.
That's him. That's fair. The other off the court issues, like you said, that did lead to James Harden leaving. So that is a big factor. All the other off the court issues which he had with the organization, which I think, I mean, that's stuff that's kind of personal. So I'm not gonna get into that. But I feel like it's on him for the most part. I feel like it breaking up is essentially about him. This contract dispute led to Katie leaving. So two issues that directly resulted from Kyrie resulting two stars leaving. Essentially all the stars leaving. The front office obviously takes some blame, but when it comes to the general overall take of it, I have to put blame on Kyrie. Obviously, the management could have handled it better, but I feel like Kyrie has to take the load of blame. And is it the biggest failure in history? I mean, it's up there for sure, man. It's up there for sure. I mean, no championships. I mean, the team didn't even get to a conference final.
One
Getting
playoff
swept,
win. Yep.
getting swept by the Celtics in the first round.
In the first round.
This is honestly one of the failures for the ages. I mean, it is embarrassing. Like the team got blew up before they could even get started. On honestly, 100%. And this is up there. I'm not gonna say it's the biggest all time, but it's up there. And I'll say it again. Kyrie to me takes most of the blame.
How much percent you give 15 to the front office then?
Yeah, and 85 to Kyrie. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Danny. Let's hear your take.
Man, me and Josh have like some separate views right here, man.
Interesting. Okay.
Listen, KD 0%. I gotta give him 10% of the blame at least.
That's fair.
10% of the blame.
Well, he is the star of the franchise, but yes.
He is the star of the franchise, so act like it. Be the leader of the team. They never had a team culture, man. This is what nobody ever talks about. Once again, with Shaq's take about being a bus driver or a bus rider.
This was his chance to be a bus driver, and I think he blew it. He never once. I don't think he ever put once Kyrie in check. Like, yo, bro,
true, yeah.
you know,
That's
come on.
True.
Come on, man. Like, you know, do something.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
He never did that.
I love this take.
Maybe we can say KD failed as a leader, but like I said, you know, he did.
I think we could agree KD's not really considered like a leader. He's like Kawhi. They're not really leaders.
That's true. Yeah.
He just likes to hoop. He just
to be honest,
he's always deferring to Kyrie though, like at all times. Like he even went to Brooklyn because of Kyrie.
Yeah, he would put Madison Square Garden. Hey, but thanks to the Knicks, they don't want this disaster over there. It would have been crazy if it was in the Garden. This wouldn't stand.
Come on, Susar. Come on. Imagine this debacle happened in the Garden.
Oh, it's clipped. It's clipped.
It's
not good news. It's not
Knicks
good
fans would have never heard the end of it. This is why
they're violent. Oh, this is why they're a disaster franchise. But now the Nets, I guess, get a slack because they were. I mean, we all know they're not even from New York. They're from New Jersey. Let's go.
All right. I gotta give Kyrie. I'll give him 30% of the blame. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What?
Yeah.
Only?
Okay,
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
He did start this whole thing, but like I don't know, just seeing him in Dallas that first game, and maybe I am jumping to conclusion, recency bias.
It's one game. You saw him drop 50 in his first game in Brooklyn. This is ridiculous.
Like you said, let me finish, bro.
I'm cutting you off. Sorry.
Bro, Kyrie, man, when he can just ball, ball. Supposedly he didn't feel too loved by management.
You know, I get it, but once again, if he had management or KD tell him, yo, just focus on playing ball, you know, leave all the. New York is a very hard city to play in, so you know the media is gonna do. If management and KD was like, you know, just focus on basketball, we got a chance to do something special here, and they could have honestly won 3 rings.
100%.
I think but he gets 30% of the blame.
That's okay.
Management gets 60% of the blame.
Oh my goodness.
Fair.
Joe Tsai.
You just said he got 15% of the blame. What you mean fair?
But he's explaining it, bro.
Yo, Joe Tsai should be banned from ever owning an NBA team ever.
That I agree with.
Oh my goodness.
That I actually agree with. I'm gonna have to reorganize my
I'm gonna let Danny talk because I'm about to go off, but I have to be respectful and let him go.
I can't wait to hear your take, man. But I honestly they never put any solid pieces around the big three, which is KD, James Harden.
Oh my goodness! I can't. My reaction. I'm gonna calm down. Go ahead. Sorry. I won't say nothing.
Yeah, like honestly, man, this is something that I don't know. This is what I feel, man. The management just wasn't there. I think the management failed KD. The management failed Kyrie and James Harden.
That's my take, man. I don't know. Joe Tsai should be banned from ever.
Okay, is
I
it
agree. And also, I
okay?
did
Yes.
hear Kyrie say that he's happy that Katie got out of there. So maybe there was some behind the scenes stuff that we don't know with the
Oh,
This
management.
is
oh
what
yeah.
I'm
I
saying.
do believe it was incompetent, but
He
yeah,
also
let's
said that he led them to the 14. He did his job. But you didn't
yeah, that was a
remember
bad
that.
take. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah,
was a bad
but
take.
but but
Josh, come on, man. I don't
I'm not
know.
disrespecting
Do
Kyrie. I'm
you
just saying
see?
what he said.
Kyrie looks. Did you see his first game in his press conference?
Yeah, he was balling, huh?
He looks so much. No, in his press
Bro,
conference, he looked happier. He looked refreshed.
yeah,
He
he
looked
did, yeah.
happy in his first game
He
in
did,
Brooklyn when
bro.
he dropped 50.
Listen,
All
like
right.
I said, too sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
But this is how I see it based
All
on
right.
the recency.
Is it
But
my turn? Is it my turn? Because I'm about to like. Is it my turn?
Yeah,
Go ahead, bro.
it's your
Go
turn,
ahead.
Skip. Too
All
sure.
right. We about to start right now.
Too
All
sharp
right.
Bayless,
First of
man.
all,
Too
Kevin
sharp
Durant.
Bayless right here.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. Well, he's a super fan of KD. So, anyways, Kevin Durant. I agree with Danny. Gets 10% of the blame, even though I don't really want to blame him as much. But he is the superstar of the team. He's the franchise leader of the team, and this kind of blew up in front of him. He didn't ever kept Kyrie in check. But again, Kevin Durant's the kind of guy he doesn't really.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you gave me time to talk, but just think about if LeBron was in KD shoes, he would get more blame.
Hundred
I'm
percent,
just saying that.
100%,
Yeah,
hundred
that's true
percent.
actually.
But the thing is, he's a leader. We don't really look at KD as a leader. But regardless,
True.
Kevin Durant's the kind of guy he's not going to really tell Kyrie what to do. He said that multiple times, like with the vaccine. They always used to ask him about this. But for Kevin Durant, still he was the leader of the franchise, and I feel like the franchise did everything they wanted him to do. He wanted Steve Nash, Kyrie, and KD said we don't need a head coach or something like this. They still hired him. They wanted James Harden. They gave up their whole future to get James Harden. Then the next season, he obviously Kyrie not being vaccinated. James Harden went out. KD said, make make it happen, James. Ben Simmons came in. Obviously, he defended Kyrie because in the All-Star thing, he basically didn't choose James Harden over Rudy Gobert. And we know how Rudy Gobert is working out in Minnesota. But regardless, we see what you call that? Yeah. So we see that didn't like then this season that he tries to request a trade that they got swept first, and then he tried to request a trade and it didn't work out. They weren't going to trade him. Then they were playing good. The management I thought built a really good team around. They had Royce O'Neal, Seth Curry, good shooters, good defenders, good center Nick Claxton. Then eventually they have fired Steve Nash, and then obviously that didn't make Joe Tsai look good because he eventually said I'm gonna support my guys, and then he just kind of fired Steve Nash.
Joe side doing something bad?
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah,
but
first time I heard that from
regardless, they
you.
hired Jock Vaughn, and I thought Jock Vaughn did an incredible job. 25-8 under these two guys. They were playing phenomenal. Then obviously the contract dispute. Kyrie first gone, and then KD's gone. For Kyrie Irving, I gotta give him, I would say, I gave KD 10. I'm gonna give Kyrie Irving, I'm gonna go 75% of the blame. I think
75 is
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
crazy.
redo my
Wow.
percentages,
Wow.
man.
I think 75 because actually, you might be right. I'm gonna go 70. I'm gonna go 70 because
That's still too high, man. I
uh,
think you're putting weight. I mean,
okay,
you can finish.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie. The reason I'm giving him 70. Bottom line is the reason why KD's in Brooklyn is because of him. First, it started his first season. First season nobody really counted because KD couldn't play. We know he was injured. The next season they made the trade for James Harden. Everything was working. The first thing that comes up, and again, there's things that are more important than basketball. And Kyrie's done a lot of great things off the court. We always talk about the bad things about. He's done a lot of great things off the court, donations and all that. Seen all
Very
of that
true.
kind of
I
stuff.
agree
He's
with
done a
that.
lot of great things, and nobody gives him the credit for that. But personally, then he's gone for a month. He'd even tell his team that I'm gone, like at least inform the team, And then they ask Steve Nash, and then he's like, I don't know where he is. They don't even know. And then he don't play for a month. Find out he's in birthday parties and this and that. Then he gets suspended or something like that. Then they play the season. And obviously after that, there was really no distractions when he came back. They just got hurt, and then they ultimately couldn't win. Then third season, James Harden says scary hours. It wasn't scary hours. It was trash hours because after that, you have the
Oh no, it
Brooklyn Nets.
definitely was scary.
Scary hours, but for them.
Yeah. But then you have, Kyrie going to, then James Harden don't want to be there because he knew something we didn't. Everybody criticized him in the beginning, but he looks like the hero now because James Harden left when he at the right time. Then they get swept by Boston, doesn't look good. Then KD wants out, right? And then Kyrie eventually requests a trade later on. Like, I just feel like, this puts a lot because I look at it as I don't think James leaves if maybe, a situation plays out differently because I think James was just about winning and he felt like it was all over the place. Maybe management didn't put them in check. KD didn't clearly put him in check. So I think people look at that, but I feel like Kyrie has to take most of the blame because I feel like this franchise, the reason why James Harden got traded, I think was due to Kyrie Irving. I think the reason why, the franchise, they got, KD wanted Kyrie as well. And then the management obviously is going to get 20% of the blame because bottom line is they make the final decisions. I mean, they do make the final calls. But I think this bottom line, it comes down to giving, and we've seen this now, the players too much power to dictate your franchise because KD and
Yeah,
Kyrie
I
had the
agree with
keys
that.
to the Nets, and it blew up in their face. It blew up. This
That's true.
was one of the biggest failures in NBA history. A team that has won one playoff series, and it's clear Kevin Durant came from Golden State, like, all right, this is my team. I'm happy here, this and that. And then 3 years later, he's out. So it was honestly ridiculous seeing this. And I just want to say something. I know you guys criticize Sean Mark and then Josh's take about Sean Marks failed the big three. Let me get
He
get
did, bro.
started here.
He
So
did fail them.
first, let's go before they got KD Kyrie, right? First, I'm gonna go through the whole thing. Sean Marks did. Before he got KD Kyrie, they were a happy team. They had D'Lo, Karis LeVert, right? Fun team to watch, right? They got to the first round. They got bounced by Philly. Okay. Then what did Sean Marks do in his first thing? The Knicks wanted KD Kyrie. Didn't happen. He went to Brooklyn. He did his job. He got 2-star players, right?
And what he actually didn't do his job. It was
Okay,
Kyrie.
let me
It
finish. You did your speaking. Now you only hear the listening.
Okay, all right.
All right, because I got a lot to say because you said some crazy stuff. I'm not disrespectful, but you know what I'm saying. But then we got KD Kyrie, right? They go to they're in Brooklyn, right? In their first year, nobody really counted again because KD's hurt. It comes the next season, they're playing okay basketball. They're 7-6, not too good. Steve Nash is the coach, which is again the coach that they wanted. And Kyrie went on the podcast on KD said, "We don't need a head coach." Am I right, Josh?
I mean, they really didn't have one in Nash, so he was right.
Okay, but that's
Very
what they
true,
said.
very
They
true.
wanted Nash.
That's true. They did.
Nash
They
was in
handpicked him,
Golden State
handpicked.
with Kevin Durant. He wanted Nash.
That's true.
Okay. Again, I understand management has the final say. Then they make the trade for James Harden, which clearly, if you go back in time, you would do it again and again. That's a good trade. Anybody would do that.
That's fair.
Then what they do, obviously they lost a lot of assets. What they do, they still had a lot of great players. They brought Jeff Green. They got Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge. They got, I think they had some guy from Europe. I forgot. Mike James, I think. He was a good player. They had
Mike James.
They had Joe
Mike James
Harris.
is a good player.
Had Joe Harris. They had Claxton there. Like they had a lot of. I mean, I think Blake was there too. But they had a lot of good players. Like they build around, and they were unbeatable. Like they were second in the East. They cooked Boston. They were up 2-0 against the Bucks. If they were all healthy, they probably would have swept the Bucks. And they were unbeatable of a team. They were 13-3 when they all three played together. Third season comes. The vaccine situation on and off, not, too many different lineups. James Harden won out. The team was still built around very good because when they played, they were, again, unbeatable. They were 13-3 when they played together. Then they get swept. Then the next season, I think even when KD requested a trade, what the Nets were still doing, knowing that, okay, we might have to trade him, but, like, we're still going to build around. They brought in Royce O'Neal. Obviously, Ben Simmons part of the James Harden trade. They had Seth Curry there. Still had Patty. Good shooting, good defending. Nick Claxton's there. They built a very good team around these superstars, and it's clear because they were 25-8 when they got the right coach. They were playing good basketball. They were number 2 in the East. So I don't see how you could say that the general manager failed the team when they clearly built a good roster around them. Is not their fault. To win games, you need the stars to actually play basketball. That's
fair.
not what happened in Brooklyn. These two guys played 74 games together in 3.5 seasons. There's 82 games in a season.
This guy's going off.
Am I wrong, Josh? Like,
I mean,
look. You can say what you
bringing
want
up
about
fair
Sean Marks, but
points.
he did not fail as a GM. He
That's
got
fair,
the
bro.
pieces to build around the team. It just blew up in their face.
Tusha, can you?
What does GM stand for?
Yeah, please define it, bro.
General manager
And what's the job of a GM, bro?
to build a good team around his stars, which he did.
I mean, it's his job to build a good team, but it's
Also his job to manage that team.
Oh,
And
here we go.
That is where
We don't act
fails,
like
bro.
stars don't have
It's
power
facts.
now. As they dictate because they agree to stars. They see KD win 2 championships. They seen Kyrie win 1. Why don't listen to these guys? They've won it already. This franchise has won nothing. They have 0 banners. They got a play-in banner that was sent by KD and Kyrie to get swept by Boston.
Sean Marks, bro. Like,
Exceptional GM.
all I'm gonna say is this, bro. If this was Pat Riley, bro, some of this nonsense would not be going
But
around, bro.
I'm
What
not
a
saying
great
that. You're
take.
some
What a
GMs.
great
has to.
take.
Sean
You're
Marks
bringing
has to
up
put
one
at some
GM.
point. Hold
You're
up, bro.
bringing
Hold
up
up,
one
bro.
GM.
Hold
No.
up.
You're bringing up.
I'm
Okay.
bringing up the standard for a GM. This should be the standard.
that
But
is
not
the
all
Jordan
GMs are
standard.
not like that.
You gotta put your foot down, bro. He never put
You
his foot
make
down
it
at all
sound
in no
so
situation.
easy. Nah, that's cap.
Come on, bro.
No, I
This is
mean,
Pat Riley. This is going on, bro.
yeah, it's not supposed to be easy. That's
It's player management, bro.
But the
yeah.
James Harden trade was good. Anybody would do it. That's a good
nobody.
trade.
See, I think you're getting it twisted, but we're not saying he failed to, because that big 3 will go down. He did a good job. It's the way he managed his players.
Exactly.
He gave his
But he
players
can't
too much
control.
power.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
Yeah,
point.
Maybe that's a bigger topic we get
Like I
into.
said,
Maybe
he
about
can't.
the player
He
empowerment era,
yeah
but
yeah. But
Yeah.
he can't
he
control
definitely
like
gave him.
yeah
He can control it. That's
he
his
can't
job. He's the
control the Kyrie
manager.
Irving situation. Maybe his decision again. I'm not against his vaccination issue or not, but he decides not to get vaccinated or him not showing up without telling his team he didn't show up for a month. At least inform the team. He comes out and says, I felt disrespected or I felt I want to be celebrated, not tolerated. Like, a lot of reasons this blew up is because of this guy. And I don't like to throw
but
all the
like,
blame on him
yeah,
because he's a superstar talent. He's a special player, but
You
he
you
came
said
to
you said Sean Marks went up to Steve Nash and said, "Where's Kyrie?" Right? Isn't he the manager? Isn't he supposed to know where
but
He's
Kyrie
Kyrie
supposed to
is?
didn't
know.
tell
Facts.
anybody.
but okay, so his job is to go find him and be like, "Yo, what are you doing? Come back and
I
play
mean, I'm
ball
pretty
like
sure
you're
they said
supposed to."
I'm pretty sure they reached out to him and then he didn't like. What are they supposed to do? Like, there's accountability in the front. Like, Jock Vaughn has been the
Listen.
perfect coach.
I love
Jock
Josh's
Vaughn has
Think
been the
about Pat
perfect coach
Riley.
because he holds people accountable. Accountability matters, and obviously, maybe accountability wasn't held properly, maybe, and that's why I put 20% on the blame. But to say he failed, I think he did a great job building the players. But
That's
to
true.
win games, you need stars to actually play.
That's
That's
true.
it.
Yes, I
And I
mean,
think it's another thing to say, like, that's why you need some of these coaches to handle the egos, bro.
That's true,
Like you
bro.
said,
Steve
bro,
Nash was
when
not the
none
perfect
of
coach.
this was happening,
But my bad,
when
Kyrie and
LeBron,
KD were running up plays because they
sorry,
played with
bro.
a head coach because they
I
didn't
was
want a
saying,
coach.
but none of this was happening when Kyrie was under LeBron. None of this was happening because I know LeBron was probably ruling with an iron fist, but he had Kyrie in check.
But
He wasn't
apparently,
going for none
like
of that,
even
bro.
after they won the championship, like he wanted like to leave. Like
That's
apparently,
true. I
like there
mean,
was
yeah,
some
but that's a different
friction.
thing,
They said that
though.
he stayed away from his teammates, this and that. But they won a championship, so that's all that really
Yeah,
matters.
maybe
that's
he's
true.
just one of those players that just doesn't like to be controlled, and
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, this Nets was a
I,
disaster. And the bottom line is as sad as this to say, Brooklyn, when they saw the Boston situation, I heard they did not want Kyrie Irving. The only reason they signed is because they wanted to land that number 35 who won 2 championships in Golden State.
I didn't even answer the question, but honestly, I
Oh, yeah, it's
think
the biggest failure in NBA history,
This
100%.
is the biggest failure in NBA history. Three top 10 players in their prime.
Yeah,
KD in his prime, Kyrie in his prime, James Harden in his prime.
man, you don't even have
This
a
is a
fan.
dynasty that could
You
have won
don't
multiple
even have
championships.
a finals appearance to show for that.
I just think
It's sad
biggest
because
failure.
yeah,
I
It's
feel like
sad.
that one year that they actually were like when Kyrie, everybody was playing. That was that one year there was like after Kyrie came back, when James Harden first arrived, they were actually playing. And injuries just derailed their season. Simple as that. And me and Josh went through this. We believe Nets would have won it all had they been healthy. But that's again a big what if
that's
because
true.
they weren't healthy. And James Harden was criticized, but the man played hurt and
And
he
I
gave
was
him
one of
everything he
them.
had.
I was one of them who criticized him, but after seeing what was going down in Brooklyn, man, he should have got out of there
It
sooner.
was a disaster. But I think Brooklyn at this point is just relieved that it's all over, and they're probably gonna think twice before acquiring superstar. First, it was the Boston thing that they destroyed, and now it's this big three. Houston might be happy, but Nets now are like I feel like the Nets are at now. They're not really. They don't look like a team that's like on a complete rebuild, but they look like a team where like they were a few years ago when they had D'Lo, Caris LeVert, a very good team, potential first round exit team. But
I
the
don't
only
know
thing
what
that I
your
really like about Brooklyn, Jock Vaughn, man, is the perfect coach. But yeah,
I don't know what your opinion is on this, Josh.
But I don't even think they can even go in rebuild mode because Houston owns all their picks.
That's true.
So they gotta
that's true.
either
They gotta
Yeah,
win somehow.
But luckily they got the
Retool.
Suns picks now. But yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
They
mean,
did acquire a lot of
I
picks,
can
but
go ahead.
yeah, I mean they like I said they acquired a lot of picks. But that's really what I want to say. But yeah, finish. Go ahead, Danny.
I honestly can't wait for this 30 for 30 that's coming out in like
Yeah,
10 years from now.
yo, Shannon Sharp, you really said that, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean,
And Shannon Sharp even said, "Hey, Ja, remember what you said? You still good in the West, my guy." Clappers.
this guy.
All right. So Josh, let us know. Obviously, I got heated, but man, I obviously we disagree on this, but regardless, we all know Brooklyn was a disaster, and I think, well, me and Josh blame Kyrie more, I think, but Danny blames the management more. But of course, we're not saying Kyrie's a bad player. I'm happy he's in a new situation, and I hope it works out because we know when he's just basketball, he's a generational
Easily.
superstar talent who
Yeah.
should have been on the top 75 list, who clearly got robbed, just like Ben Simmons robbing the Brooklyn Nets. Simple as that. But yeah,
Josh?
Josh, let us know the final topic. Obviously, I don't,
Yeah.
maybe I personally don't want to hear this, but I got to hear it.
So next,
I can't wait for this one. Let's go.
next topic 6, the Clippers hosted the Mavericks on February 8th. Kyrie debuted in this game for the Mavericks. He scored 24 points and 5 assists. So, what are your thoughts on Kyrie's debut, and how scary can Luka and Kyrie be when Luka does come back? Are they a contender?
Danny?
All right, I'll let you take the floor. It's your team.
Well, thoughts on Kyrie debut? Nothing.
I
it's
think you
not
misread. I think you misread the title, Josh. I think it was Kyrie smokes the Clippers.
okay. Obviously, Luka not playing. A lot of people maybe thought Clippers should have won this game, and I thought they should have. But no surprise what Kyrie done. We know his abilities. We might criticize the guy for what's happened. In Boston and Brooklyn, but we know how special of a talent he is when he's focused on basketball. Even with Brooklyn, those 40 games when he was focused, my goodness, what points he was dropped 48 against Utah. He can carry a team on his back. That's what he can do. And without Luka, it showed his impact on the team. I mean, Reggie Bullock, I don't know how many threes he had. He got a lot of open shots. That's from Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving getting to the basket, long threes from far distance, everything. He got the best handles in the NBA. I mean, this was a great debut. I want to see how him and Luka play together. A lot of people saying it won't work. Obviously, on talent, it looks like it's going to work, but we obviously got to hope because we know Luka is the number one and Kyrie's the number two. And this was an awesome debut. He cooked the Clippers. Clippers couldn't stop him. Obviously, even Josh, you were telling me yesterday, criticized Terrence Mann was only guarding Kawhi, and PG didn't take the challenge to guard Kyrie Irving at all. Definitely, they should have took
Facts.
that challenge. And yeah, they beat us bad, and they didn't even have Luka, so that's not good news, obviously. And this is a team that we could probably play again in the playoffs. Obviously, last two times we beat them, 4-2, 4-3. But this time with Kyrie Irving, it causes major concerns for this franchise. That's why they went out, I think, to make a lot of those moves. Still need a point guard though. And how scary can Luka and Kyrie be when they return? It's going to be really scary. It's going to be interesting now that, I thought this could be one of the scariest, duos in the West that could affect the Western Conference. Now that KD came, this just changed everything. But yeah, they could be scary. This could be one of the best backcourt in the league. You basically add a guy in Luka who, what's his thing? He has to carry the team, and then fourth quarter he gets tired. Now Kyrie Irving, the best fourth quarter scorer in the league, averages like 9.5 points. Luka, the best first quarter points player in the league. You add these two players together. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be scary. And our Dallas contenders, 100%, 100%. They have to be contenders. They're a legitimate threat to the team. They look like a team that, obviously, I'm biased, but could they beat the Clippers? Of course they can. They got the talent to do it.
They will.
I don't know about all that. Can they beat, Denver? Yes, they can now that they got Kyrie. Can they beat Memphis? Even though, in my opinion, I don't really see Memphis as the threat that people see. I'm not disrespecting them. I think obviously Dallas is just better than them anyways. Sacramento's there. You got a lot of teams. Dallas is legit. They can make a run for the conference finals now. If Dallas and Phoenix right now, if the season ended today, Dallas and Phoenix will play in the first round. If that would happen, it's good for my Clippers. But whoa, somebody's gonna be out early. Whoa, that would be crazy. How many teams one of these teams might not make
The
it to the
West is
first round?
so
Like
stacked, man.
you got. Think about this. You got the Warriors, the Suns. Maybe these are my teams in general that I think that are contenders. You might disagree, but you got the Warriors, the Suns, Denver, the Warriors, the Clippers. Maybe if you want to throw Memphis in there. Like those are like 6 teams I name you. All of these teams expect to go past the first round, and 2 of these teams might not be there. Like they can't be there. That's crazy. But yeah, you go ahead, Danny.
Where to begin? Where to begin, man?
I was watching this game live, and I was just laughable. Kawhi Leonard 0 points in the first quarter.
Oh, here we go.
2 points in the second quarter.
Josh, can you remind me what he load management? He does load management, right?
Max.
And he's only dropping 2 points in the half.
Well rested, by the way.
Well rested, and only dropped. This is an embarrassment, man. Kyrie absolutely cooked the Clippers.
Theo Pinson was cooking the Clippers.
Oh damn, he cooked us. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Reggie Bullock, my goodness, he was looking like prime Steph Curry out there.
The Kyrie Irving effect.
The Kyrie Irving.
100%.
Man, Jaden Hardy. Oh man.
Oh my goodness. That dunk he had too. My goodness.
The Mavericks were just cooking the Clippers, and Paul George also had a bad shooting night. Man, he was 8 for 20 points.
Man, if the Mavericks did this,
and this is a team that we expected defensively to be struggled, and they played really good.
Yeah, it got a little closer during the end, but that's because Kawhi turned it up a bit.
Quote a bit because he only dropped 15 points, but okay. But man, it for me it's kind of concerning because when Norman Powell has to step up and only to make the game close, 24 points. If it wasn't for Norman Powell,
he's been balling, by the way.
This game would have been a blowout.
100%.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to say.
The game against the Bucks that we blew that 21-point lead, I was upset. I think we should have won that game. We was smoking the Bucks too.
Yeah, but Norman Powell has been playing fantastic lately. That's the only player in the Clippers that I actually like.
Even though he smoked the Knicks, he's playing that.
Game against the Knicks, we were up again, blowing that fourth quarter lead, but
that dunk
thanks to
on
Nick
Julius
Batum,
Randle, my
saved
goodness.
us. Oh, Norman! Once Norman Powell had that dunk, I knew he was secured as a Clipper. He was not getting traded.
Isn't that sad, Josh? You hear this?
I know, right?
He was playing good all season. He
started the dunk secured his contract.
No. Apart from that, Nicholas Batum saved us against the Knicks.
That sentence just sums up the Clipper season. How scary can can Kyrie and Luka be?
Man, they can make it to the finals. I see them making it the Western Conference Finals, and they're really scary. Like I said earlier,
Kyrie already has experience playing with pass forward wing in like LeBron,
and I think they're gonna bring out the best in each other, and I really do see them working out. Maybe it was just a one-time thing with the Brooklyn stuff. I really do believe that Kyrie's a special player. When he's a magician on that floor.
Oh, 100%.
So, man, I really do see them going to the Western Conference Finals, and their ceiling could even be a title. They just got to get a few more pieces. They got to get that chemistry together. But yeah, the Clippers suck. If they go in a series together, they're definitely getting swept.
I don't know about all that, but before Josh, you speak on this. I want to say one thing. There was a thing with Kyrie talked about in front of when they asked him about Kevin Durant. He said we're still brothers, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out. I didn't like when he said it didn't work out. Clearly, it was. She didn't play. Wasn't playing basketball. Both of them.
Well, maybe it didn't work out, but
it clearly was. It was
Kyrie,
they were really good together.
But Kyrie looks like he has enjoyed himself in Dallas. I don't know if you guys saw, but he walked to his hotel with the fans. Like that.
It's one game, my goodness. He was happy in Brooklyn. I'm not saying he's not happy, but it's one game.
Yeah, like I said, it is one game, but maybe we are jumping
overreaction.
The gun,
is crazy. The first game he dropped 50 in Brooklyn. He was talking all had his first game this season with when they were 1-1, they beat the Toronto Raptors. He's talking about, we're gonna take this to a championship level. Come on, man.
Josh, I just think Tuchel at this point is salty that the Clippers are gonna get Kyrie.
No, I'm just being honest. I think Kyrie's a perfect fit, and this is a great trade for Dallas. But it's one game. He's done this many other places. I'm just saying to calm down a bit. That's it. Salty, I mean, did I know Kevin Durant was coming to Phoenix? I didn't know this was going to happen. Of course, I'm a little bit I wish he was on our squad. We would have helped us out.
Yeah. I want to hear your thoughts, Josh.
Yeah, sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
So Kyrie debut, I mean, great debut. It looked like he's been playing it for years. I mean, the chemistry was off the charts. The off the ball movement was crazy. I mean, I feel like he's been playing with these guys for a long time. It was a great win. And for me, this to me shows, this shows to me the weakness of the Clippers. I mean, they're being touted as a great defensive team. They have all these wing players. Yet for the majority of the game, Kyrie was cooking Terrence Mann one-on-one, and neither PG or Kawhi stepped up to the matchup. They did later in the game, but by that time it was too late. He was already hot. And I've seen this multiple times. They're two of the best defenders in the NBA, arguably, when they're fit, and they're not guarding the best player on the opposing team. Kawhi's in the corner guarding. I don't even know who he was guarding in the game.
I think it was Theo Pinson.
And Theo Pinson was still getting buckets. This defensive team, to me, is looking shocking. Kawhi, if we're not putting the effort in the offense, which he wasn't doing much in the game, at least put in a shift on defense, which he wasn't doing either. So to me, that's going to be an issue for them because I feel like I see that will be a trend. I feel like they will consistently hide from guarding the best defensive player until it's too late, and then that'll be the downfall of the Clippers, in my opinion. But great debut, that aside. And Luka and Kyrie, I feel like this will be a great duo. I mean, like Danny said, I mean, he has experience playing with a player of Luka's caliber with LeBron. Not saying they're on the same level, but the similar kind of play style, I guess, with the passing and stuff. And I feel like all the contenders, I mean, they definitely are one of the better teams in the West. I mean, like Danny said, I can see them getting to the conference finals. I don't know if they can reach the finals because, the West is stacked right now.
It is very stacked.
If they get there, I wouldn't be too surprised because, they have the talent. And, yeah, I mean, I just want to see how players in the bottom market are going to go because I feel like they can get a player from that. But I feel like, yeah, it was a good win, and I can see, this duo doing really well. I hope Kyrie resigns there, honestly, but I got a feeling he's going to play with LeBron in LA, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, but I don't know if you guys heard it. He said, LeBron's doing him in the Lakers, and I'm doing me over here. I mean, could be swerving us, but that's what he said.
It's clear he wanted to. I think he clearly wanted to
be
there.
Just to add on to the Clippers thing real quick,
you're gonna think I'm a hater, which I'm not, but I just think the Clippers like depth is so overrated. Like,
I agree.
Like it's just so overrated.
We got
Like
some new players now, so I think
I
they'll
know,
fit.
but at the end, stars win championships. Kawhi is not on that floor being a leader enough
I mean,
Yeah.
he
for
was.
me to
I
think
never
they're gonna put a
considered.
push.
Like I said, like just like KD, I never thought he was really considered to be like a leader. I look at leaders like you could say Draymond Green. Lead. He's a leader. But Kawhi is not the. He leads on just by his play, just
Yeah.
playing
The
basketball.
only thing he leads is his minutes and sitting out games, but that's
Um.
the only thing.
Oh, here we go. Weak. All right, Joshua, let us know your final question. I know you had a question to ask.
Okay, so now that you see the K's on the Suns and Kyrie's on Dallas, do you think like at the moment there's a definite like number one team we have to come out the West?
Any thoughts?
well, for me, it's like literally quite simple. Like when I saw that trade go through, I immediately thought, man, I can't wait to see Devin Booker get his first ring because I think it's clear that in the West there's a definitive favorite, and that's the Suns. I really don't see anybody owning up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, maybe the Nuggets, but I myself think they're little overrated. But that can. But I really see the Suns coming out and going to the finals.
They're for me they're the favorites.
The only team I see considerably challenge them is Boston because all around Boston is just a great team.
I'm glad that they didn't do any major moves because they're a solid team.
My opinion, I think it's
Gonna be the Suns lifting that trophy at the end of the summer, but
that's my opinion. What do you think?
Josh?
I feel like yeah, I mean you gotta say the Suns. I mean I was high on Denver the entire season, but this
Mm-hmm.
move changed the landscape of the West in my opinion. Like I said before, I mean you've seen the panic moves teams made. Denver, I mean they tried to make some moves too. I mean I feel like everyone knows that Phoenix is the team to beat. Phoenix is
Mm.
the front runner now, and I
Okay.
feel like we'll see how things go. But right now I have Phoenix as the one. I feel like they're to me the team that can come out the West. They have everything they need.
Mm. When I
What
look at
about
the
you?
West, like obviously now it's so if
he's
I'm a
gonna say
if
the Clippers.
if I look at the teams in the East, for example, I think they probably thank Brooklyn because they don't have to deal with KD, Kyrie in the East. And now the teams in the West might be pissed at Brooklyn because they cause a lot of damn chaos in the West. The West is stacked. But I look at I've personally like I don't feel like definitive winner. Like obviously, do I think the Suns are the team to beat right now? Yes. Do I think they have the best chance coming out the West? Yes. But like, would I be surprised if Dallas came out that Dallas came out, and made it to the finals? No. Right now, would I be surprised if Denver came out? No, because they've been the best team in the West all year long. All year long. With, let's be honest, Joker probably deserves the MVP nod, and I don't know if he's gonna get it due to the media.
Oh, I'm sorry to
Um,
cut you off,
It's
teacher, but you
true.
know how insane it is that for him on FanDuel, it's
Favored for him to get a triple double? Like that is so insane to
Yeah,
me.
it's
This is
insane.
never before seen.
he's a special player. But yeah, so when we go into that, then you have obviously I know Clippers. I wouldn't be surprised. I know you think I'm a little biased here. I might be. You have the Golden State Warriors. You can never count them out. We know they turn it up during the playoffs. So like, there's so many teams that like they have an actual shot, and they're so talented that I feel like there's 5, 6 teams that have a legitimate chance, and only 4 will make it past the first round. So somebody's gonna be upset. Somebody's gonna be like, we failed this season because all of these teams have championship aspirations. But except maybe obviously the Timberwolves. I don't know. It was championship or bust, but I think they was lying to us. But regardless, you look at the Suns. Obviously, the Suns are the favorite. They're the team to beat right now, but I wouldn't be surprised. And also, I think I know it looks good on paper, which it does, and it looks like a seamless fit. But I do want to see Kevin Durant play in Phoenix. Like for a little bit before I could just be like, okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them play a bit.
while I definitely agree with you too, sir, I think it's championship or bust. I
Yeah, it has to
like
be.
No, no, no,
the
no, no,
criticism for KD if he doesn't.
Go win the championship is gonna be immense
no,
because
no.
he
I'm not.
he
I'm
has a
not.
super team.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's championship or bust. I'm just saying I could see other teams coming out because the West is very stacked. Luca and Kyrie. I mean, these are two like. Let's be honest. Like Kyrie is like a top 5 player. Like for real. You have Luca is probably people saying he's maybe the best player. I think I've heard Danny say that. So number one, Luca. You got Kyrie. Maybe okay. I'll say top 10. Top 10 player. You got 2 superstar players. There you go in Dallas. You got 2 superstar players in the Clippers. You got 2 superstar players in Phoenix with a very good team. you got Golden State, Curry, you got still Clay, you got Draymond, you got all these players. Like all these teams have a lot of talent, so it's kind of hard to say. But yes, it's championship or bust for the Suns. I understand that, but um, I just think there's a lot of teams in the West that have a legitimate chance. But the Suns right now are on the top a little bit. I just gotta see them play before I could be like, okay, yeah, they're the
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I
I
don't
just
just want
think
to say it, and obviously it just looks good on paper. Like KD has never had a problem fitting anywhere, but I still want to see it play out because obviously we know the Nets. I mean, the Suns bench is destroyed. But they're gonna. I think their bench will get better because they're gonna get all these players on the buyout market. Um, and you look at the obviously Dallas defensively, we expect them to be worse. The Clippers, they don't have a true point guard. So right now, every team has some sort of small weakness. Again, Phoenix, the bench issue. Dallas defensively, they lost all the kind of defensive guys. Clippers don't have a true point guard. I mean, is Denver really have any weaknesses that I know of?
I think they're solid all around, honestly.
Yeah, Denver might be the one team right now that's solid. Obviously, the only thing is it's hard. Katie and Booker. Nobody got those two guys on their
Yeah.
squad, man.
yeah.
Oh,
I just think with CP3 with time ticking for him. I think he's gonna be on another level. KD obviously wants to win another ring. Devin Booker, you know how legendary he is. He's a
yeah,
young Kobe Bryant.
yeah,
DeAndre Ayton. I just really see them all being on a different level, and
yeah.
they're gonna pull it off.
But I do think one thing. I think so we can agree the Suns probably have the perfect starting like five: two superstar players, a great center, and an elite playmaker. So
Yeah.
this bench, but every team, I just want to see them play, and then we obviously will definitely, assess that. So right now, if I had to, obviously this is like very early. So if you had to, obviously you can change this. You would say Suns coming out the West.
Yeah, I definitely got someone
Yeah,
coming
I
out the
would.
West.
And what about if
Hmm
you had to pick somebody in the East now that Brooklyn is clearly out the picture? If you had to just pick a
Mm.
team.
Who do you got, Josh?
I think I think I'm gonna say Celtics honestly. Like
Mm.
if they keep the form that they're right now, I mean I don't see why they can't make it back to the finals. I mean obviously Giannis is gonna be have a shout, with his play, but I feel like Celtics to me is the front runners in the East.
I'm gonna just stick with my original pick from the preseason. Remember, Kusha? I always said there's
Yes.
gonna be Bucks and Suns, and you know what? It looked silly at first, but look at me now.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it might not
If I had
happen.
to pick, you see, I'm a little biased. I'm gonna say the Clippers, but you want me to be
Come on,
unbiased
bro.
today? Do you want me to
Yeah,
be
come on,
unbiased?
bro.
Be
Come
Okay.
on.
unbiased.
For once, can you stop trolling?
Looking at all the teams, obviously, if the KD trade didn't happen, I would have said the Clippers, 100%. But with the KD trade happening right now, and the Clippers need a true point guard, which I'm waiting on, I'm gonna say the Suns for right now. I'm rooting for the Clippers, but I'm gonna say the Suns right now in the East. I was really believing in Philly, but every time they played Boston, they have not beat them. Boston owns them, and the last time they played Boston, just recently, there was no Al Horford, Robert Williams, and they lost. So I gotta go Boston right now. They're the best team right now in the East, but Philly is close. I do think Philly will make it to the conference finals. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say Suns and Celtics as well. And who wins it all? I mean, that's a tough battle because the Celtics are a very good team overall. And then you have the Suns, who are one of the best starting lineups we've probably seen this season. You know.
Yeah.
I got one more question, Josh. I know this is unplanned, but like, don't you think it's kind of crazy that Golden State just gave up on Wiseman, bro? Like
I'm
five
Yeah,
surprised. I was
like
actually
round pick.
surprised to see that.
Like I know this is unplanned, but come on, James Wiseman, a number one pick for 5 second round picks.
that's true.
Basically, and they took those 5 second rounds pick and flipped it to Gary Payton. So that's basically what they got.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I don't know.
insane
I
to
was
me.
actually surprised. Like it felt like they were gonna keep building with him. They went to the G League, but I'm kind of surprised. Like they got that trade pick from Minnesota from that D'Lo trade, and then people, and they maybe could have got Lamelo maybe at the time. Obviously, Lamelo's a kind of a guard, but kind of surprised that they kind of made that trade drastically.
yeah.
Obviously, I know Wiseman hasn't been performing. But I'm just surprised so quickly that they gave up on him and gave it to the Pistons. Same thing, Bagley. He went to the Pistons too. He was given up by the Kings. But for some reason, they didn't pick Luka, which I think Luka's okay with. But
Yeah.
You know
kind of
I'm
surprised.
okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I feel like the Wiseman thing was kind of doomed from the start. I mean, like the timeline
Yeah,
they want to win now. They don't really have a time to develop a player. I mean, the other players they have, like Kaminga, they slot right in. But I feel like Wiseman, he has good potential, but he needed time to develop, and they just couldn't offer him that. So I feel like he'll do good in on the Pistons. I feel like he'll have room to to play, make mistakes, grow as a player. But I feel like Golden State, it just was never a fit. It was never going to work in my opinion. I was waiting for him to get traded for a while, to be honest. It happened now, and I'm glad he's on a team that he can just be free and play.
I don't know what Golden State was thinking. Like an old
Yeah,
school center around like pure shooters. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you're right. I think Josh, they was doomed from the start.
So that concludes episode 32 of the Straight Sports Podcast. Man, Danny, what can I say? We appreciate you coming on. This was an awesome episode. Danny was here the whole episode, man.
yeah.
It was awesome. Obviously take to your knowledge about basketball, except maybe that Nets take that I didn't like, but you had some great takes. It was like fun to have you. Was able to talk about all the sports. Obviously you guys can follow us at Straight Sportscast on Instagram, and I hope, Danny, we're gonna see you back very soon because this was awesome. So we appreciate you coming and taking the time out your busy day to come on our podcast.
No, yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for having me, man. It was such a fun time, and we always do this like talk on the phone. Sometimes it was nice to do this on the podcast, and yeah, man, thanks for having me, guys. It's been fun, and
Sure, yeah.
maybe it got a little heated, but that's just when you're passionate
Yeah,
about a
that's
sport.
how it is. That's how we love about talking about sports. But
Sure.
before we go, just want to say one last thing. Josh, when are you getting that Phoenix jersey?
You're not getting it, bro. Okay, how about this? I'll get it when you cop a Rudy Gobert jersey.
No, nah, definitely
Same
not.
time, bro.
Nah, nah.
Same
nah.
time, bro.
Oh.
Listen, man, if the Clippers win the title this year, I'll get 3 Kawhi Leonard jerseys. How about that?
I'm weak. I'll remember when you said that. But
All right,
yeah, that
let's go
concludes
Knicks. Let's go
Let's
Knicks.
go.
Thank you guys
Facts,
for
facts.
having me.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Thanks for listening,
Peace.
guys. Peace.